to another episode of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. You just ignore my laughter as we start. Backstage pre-show is just out of control. Gonna have a fun show tonight because everyone's in a good mood, even though, some of us shouldn't be in a good mood. I think I'm probably the only one that should be in a good mood. But we'll get into it. I'm not alone. I got the squad with me. We bring in the mad producer, Podcast Poppy in the building.
I'm not sure if this is getting picked up on the mic, but I have a screaming demon in the other room, so we'll try to ignore that.
We've got my man all the way. He's back. The Roz count. Where's Roz counter resets tonight? Roz is back in the building.
We started from zero again. We start this over. One is the number.
You're only as good as your last show, and Roz has been here.
Only as good as your last show, baby.
And finally, back from his travels across the country, back at his home base, we've got Breezy in the building. How are you doing, sir?
What's going on, fellas? Yo, Roz, I like that name, man. Fastest Stacks Electric Blue.
We're back, baby. We're back.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Season two.
Only
right, season two.
Season two. Yeah, I have no idea how hilarious it is when Mike try to start these shows or try to get these effects going. The delay.
It was not good today. It was not smooth.
Mike needs to make an LLC so he can buy a computer and write it off.
Like, what is... He's like...
And the worst part is y'all can hear me clicking and nothing happening.
Nothing happens.
I don't hear anything.
Mike, if I didn't jump in, Roz would have been muted when he started speaking.
My gosh.
It's one of those things, man. We will look back at this and laugh.
Mm-hmm. Look back.
I'm for those, if you've been following us, you'll know that this is our first episode without a certain person who is not here tonight. And what a coincidence that he's not here as we go into NFL recap, because there was a game on Sunday between two 0-2 teams, and only one came out with a victory.
Someone's got to go.
And that was my Tennessee Titans beating Anthony's 0-3 Raiders.
To be fair, Mike was talking shit that whole game. Mike was in the chat talking shit that whole game, making sure Anthony was aware. But then Mike got quiet. The Raiders started making a comeback.
That last 6 minutes of that game got real dicey.
The second I see that they're in the red zone, I straight up just go, "Hey, I need a wellness check on Mike right now." Like, what's happening? He scored the touchdown. Wellness check. Mike, how are you feeling? And then they fucked up. So then it immediately went to Anthony. Wellness check. How are you feeling? And this is wonderful. Because it's almost like both things that I said were going to happen happened, where they couldn't stop they couldn't stop Derrick Henry. Y'all couldn't stop the pass, but then y'all still gave up like 400 yards, and then the Raiders lost. It's a win-win for me because the Titans still get to be an awful defense, giving up yards and points every week, and then Anthony gets to lose. Because I don't care if you guys win. Go ahead, Mike. Do that. You do that. Do your thing, King. But Anthony can't win.
Really good for me. Anthony can't win. And they did not. It was looking so good for me because, contrary to what Dylan will tell you, Tennessee was playing a really good defensive game. They were holding the Raiders. They only had, I think, 13 points, going into the fourth. And they were just doing nothing. And then all of a sudden, we just could not stop Hollins. He turned into Jerry Rice and just it was so frustrating to just see them bomb after bomb, and it was the digs all over again. We're just gonna leave him single coverage. He's killing us, and we're just gonna leave him on the island. Leave him on the island. Leave him on the island.
Mike, it's almost like I said your corners are mediocre.
I told you our corners are definitely the weak point of the defense.
There's a lot of weak points here.
Our D line is actually very good still.
Nah,
very good.
debatable.
It's very good. Our linebackers are average, and we have the best safety in the game. So
you have Derwin James on your team?
No, we have.
Then you don't have the best safety in the game on your team.
We're not even going to do this. You're not going to get me to not say the safety on my. Whoa! Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We got him. He's here.
We have a full house.
Play the music.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Play the music. My God.
He's dead.
Get him in here.
Austin's here.
Fucking loser's here. He's here. Hey, fellas in the pod. Raise your hand. No, come back here. Raise your hand if your team has a win. Damn, Anthony. Oh my God.
Dylan. I want you to do this next week too as well.
Okay.
Do that for next week as well.
Okay.
I promise you my hand will be raised by next week.
Oh, we got a guarantee.
Yes, we're going to beat the fucking Broncos, man. We're going to beat the Broncos at home. They score like 7 points a game.
What happens?
Anthony?
What world do we live in? where the Raiders start off the season 0-4. What's crazy is when I first started doing
this. If the Broncos beat y'all, I'm changing your name next week to Let's Ride. That's what your name is going to say next week. That's what it's going to say. It's not going to say Enoch. It's going to say Let's Ride. That's all it's going to say.
The only thing that's keeping me from panicking is what the rest of the division looks like right now. That's the only thing that's keeping me from panicking.
Mike, remember when we started recording episode 1 of season 2 and I started doing the In What World and you said it only works when James says it?
I didn't take my mojo.
I don't know.
James, you can have it for the NBA. The NFL looks like I'm spot on here. I'm spot on here.
I know, but I do know one thing, Dylan. Didn't somebody on this panel say that the Chargers wasn't what everybody thought they was? Somebody on here said that, right?
Well, there's a lot of things going on in LA.
Was that me?
Wait, no, I didn't.
There's two things. So yeah, you did say that, but again, it's also week 3. So Anthony, it doesn't work for you because you guys have lost 3 straight.
The minute I get on the pod, 0-3, but the Chargers, it's week
Anthony,
3.
you've lost 3 straight.
Well,
so unfortunately,
but we didn't. Okay, so the Chargers absolutely get their doors blown off by the Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't get no criticism.
The Chargers have a lot of injuries. Herbert's not healthy. They lost Bosa.
Lost Slater.
They don't have Keenan Allen. They lost Slater. There's a lot that happened.
And they got blown out.
I don't hold that loss too far.
No. I'm not faulting them for losing, but I will fault them for not even competing.
Or here's a spin zone here. Mike, maybe you're wrong about the Chargers not being right because maybe the Jags are just that good.
That's what I said. Jacksonville might be
Jacksonville
good.
Are that good. Because right now, Jacksonville's number 1 in the division.
Yeah, Jacksonville might be good.
They are.
Jags are number 1, and you guys are like 3rd.
Yes,
third.
We are.
Yeah, the Titans.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We haven't
because it's that tie.
Played a division game yet.
Exactly, but as of right now, you guys are.
Well, you guys are going to Lucas Oil this week.
I thought this game would be good because I thought both of our, us and them would start fast, and I thought, all right, this would be the trendsetter game. No, this has turned into a mini playoff game. Like
this has turned into a must-win game.
Like I said, like I was nervous about the Raiders game, but I knew we could afford to lose it because we still hadn't played a division game. This game now, we cannot lose this game.
We have two
Absolutely
must-win games in Week 4. The Titans
and the
must beat the Texans, and the Raiders
Colts
must win.
The Colts.
Well, and the Raiders must win, or else you can start
Yeah,
kissing season 5.
If
season
like I always give it 4 weeks. This is week 4. If we don't beat the Broncos at home, this season's
because here's the one thing they may score 7 points a game, and that Broncos Niners game may have had 850 yards punting total happened in that game. But like these division games, they always just play different.
They're funky.
They do.
They're funky.
And this could be exactly the thing that sparks a fire under Let's Ride's ass and fucking rides all the way through.
Because my thing is personally, right after the game, our owner had a closed meeting with our coach right after the game, and I'm pretty sure nice words were not said in that meeting. So McDaniels knows what the assignment is right now. He has us looking stupid out here. He has us looking crazy.
Well, listen, I mean,
the Raiders Patriot way doesn't exist.
The Patriot way.
He came from that WNBA. He came from the Aces victory parade, and he was like, "Wait a minute, is this what winning looks like? Is this what Hey, Anthony, the Raiders have not won a game since the Aces won the championship. They have not won a game." So yeah, he's on the hot seat, and he was at the Aces because he owns them too. He was there for all of that. He raised the trophy, looking like an idiot, but he raised the trophy. So yeah, there's pressure. Don't think that's not connected. That is connected.
I think if we have a disappointing season, I still think we should give him at least one more chance. Like if we
take all that money y'all paying him, y'all better give
but if we tank, like I'm talking about, if we win 5-6 games this year, he needs to get the sack. Like absolutely, just one season. But if we're like 8 and 9, something like that, all right, give him another year. That's just my opinion. I think we need to be a little more patient with the coaches too. I think we look at coaches like we look at quarterbacks sometimes. Like we just expect them to come in and it's just it don't work like that, man.
It's different when you're in a situation where McDaniels has never been a good coach.
That's also true, unfortunately.
So, like, you guys got had because the one thing your owner did is he took 2 coaches in the 2 teams that he owns from legendary coaching staffs in Becky Hammond and Josh McDaniels. One produced, one didn't. So he tried to do the same thing in 2 different sports, and it doesn't work like that when you take from the Belichick tree. And then you have a Patriots executive as your GM when they don't do anything either. So it's a tough look there in Vegas because you go and you don't address your areas of need. It's deja vu when I'm spitting at you. It's the same thing I've been saying since the offseason started.
It's true, but like this is what I've been meaning to say. Like, because I ask people, yes, record-wise, we're the worst in the division. But as far as just general playing wise, are we in the worst shape in our division? I say no. I say the Chargers are in worse shape than us.
Well, physically,
you can't. Honestly, I'd rather be us than the Chargers right now. The Chargers aren't looking good at all. Like we could have won every single game we had. I know there's coulda, woulda, coulda, but we were in every single game. Like literally, the Chargers have been getting the doors blown off. So if you ask me, and then the Broncos, nobody knows where their offense is. They're still looking for that offense. Everybody saw the Sunday night game. That shit was brutal.
But yeah, to be fair, that Niners defense is good. And it's better than what they'll face when they face you.
So is the Texans defense that good too?
The Texans defense has talent, but no, they're not that good.
Well, I would say this is the Chargers from a health standpoint.
The Chargers are hurt everywhere. Trouble.
If I was them, I would have reeled back Justin Herbert and I would have saved him from himself. Like, hey man, listen, I know you're trying to be a leader. I get it. It's too early in the season to basically have him playing through an injury where he's like visibly wincing, visibly hurt. he's losing. Like there was one pass he threw and it was like, whoa, like what was that about? Like he was like super injured, and you risk the whole season of him playing because he's going to say, hey, like I played the other ones, why can't I play? He's never going to tell you he's going to want to come out. So it's early enough to where you can just say, hey, listen, sit out, put him on short-term IR if you have to, 4 weeks, and just say, come back, finish strong. Keenan Allen could possibly be back. We may see him. And you get at least some people to come back around at the same time and really give it a shot in the arm to this team. They're playing with fire. Because if you take Herbert to week 7, week 8, and now you're talking about this half of the season mark, that's the rest of your season. You can't sit him then. So, I mean, the Chargers in a bad spot, man. Like they're in a bad spot.
They should sit him for this week.
The best players at their position.
They need to sit. They need to sit Herbert this week. Let him rest for a week. They got the Texans this week. Let him rest. They can beat the Texans without Herbert.
Give him a few.
You'd think so, but you also miss Slater. No Keenan Allen. No Joey Bosa. Like you miss the best players at these positions, and like Mike Williams is great. But there's a lot of like carrying that Mike Williams is doing on that offense by himself without Keenan. Because Eckler's not doing shit.
Or maybe Herbert needs to do a better job of spreading the ball. But, everyone wants to praise Herbert like he's his golden child.
I mean, you're just really salty.
Just saying. And I'm not being salty. I'm not being salty, Dylan. I'm just saying. That's all I said.
It's really easy to spread the ball out when your guys are healthy and you know the progressions and what they do. Now you have to switch everything, and Mike Williams has to be the number one target.
We were missing one of our best offensive weapons against the Titans, and we were this close.
Who?
We were literally
Renfro?
Yes, he is one of our best weapons.
I'm not saying he's not, but you still have Devontae Adams and Darren Waller.
Devontae Adams, who was being covered pretty much the whole game. And Darren Waller is dropping passes like it's nobody's business. I don't know what the fuck he's been doing.
Devontae Adams is better at wide receiver than Hunter Renfro is. And Darren Waller is better at tight end.
What I'm trying to say
is better at what?
Is it that much different of a situation? Okay. Yes.
Is Hunter Renfro Keenan Allen?
Huh?
Is Hunter Renfro Keenan Allen? I'm not even close.
What I'm trying to say is Hunter Renfro is one of our best offensive weapons. Keenan Allen is one of the Chargers' best. They both go down. Who's doing better? Carr. Yeah, Carr still is like needs.
Carr still doesn't have a win,
but he's still better at spreading the ball around.
So all this how many years has Carr been in the NFL?
But you always go to that.
Yes, because as a veteran quarterback, you understand offenses better.
And how many different coaching regimes have we had so far? How many different coaching regimes have we had so far? We have a new coach like every half year, man.
Anthony,
come on, you don't think that doesn't impact?
You don't know how to progress through reads. Like this is basic quarterback play. When you've been a quarterback for almost 10 years in the NFL, you just know nuances and you know the position, whether you have a coach or offensive coordinator or not.
I'm not saying that there aren't things Derek Carr needs to clean up on.
Justin Herbert is young.
See, this is what I don't like. Everyone is so quick to be like, Herbert's better than Carr. Herbert's better than Carr. But then when I point certain things out, but Herbert's young. So like, what leg do I have to stand?
Herbert has more room. So Herbert gets a little bit more slack for being young when it comes to mistakes because, he's like 23. 24 years old, and he's been in the league for 4 years as a whole. Derek Carr, when you start making those mistakes that a young quarterback is making, that's taking steps backwards. That's why it's different. That's not the same. You don't get to be on even playing field when you've been a quarterback for a decade versus 4 years.
So all those coaching changes don't mean anything. All those coaching changes,
coaching changes don't mean anything, but when it comes to progressing through reads and playing quarterback, it doesn't affect your ability to read an offense. It does not. The only thing that changes is your play concepts. That's what changes in your coaching schemes. Your blocking concepts, your option routes, what you're calling. What are the audibles out of that formation? When you're running hurry up, what are the plays that you call immediately to go out of there? Those are the things that change in your coaching. It doesn't change how the quarterback has to think on the field. It just changes versus the personnel and what you're doing with it.
And I agree, but all I'm trying to say is I don't think we should be calling Herbert a golden child or looking at him a golden child right now. Because
I done nothing to say he's not.
But everyone else says it.
But no, he's not. But he hasn't done anything to really say he isn't the golden child. He's been great since he's been in the league. He's been great.
And he's been also consistently below 500.
In what?
In his career.
Consistently. But here's the thing. Football is a team game, Anthony.
It's just a team sport.
It is a team game. Why haven't you guys won a game?
What?
Let me ask you that. Why haven't you guys won a game?
Because of bad coaching decisions.
Completely,
drop passes. It? No.
So when you're losing isn't completely on the quarterback? Holy shit.
But it has a lot to do with the quarterback. It has a lot to do with the quarterback, Dylan. It has a lot to do with the quarterback. There were a lot of games that we would have lost them. Oh, wait, real quick. I'm gonna go back to last year for a second when we were 6-7. You don't think if Carr didn't play the way he did, engineering all those clutch plays and those clutch drives, do you think we would have won 4 straight? There has to be some point where the quarterback has to say, I'm going to lift everyone else around me, and I'm going to literally carry my team to the finish line.
I agree.
When has Herbert done that? Tell me one point has Herbert done that. I'm not saying he's not a very good quarterback. He is a very good quarterback. I give Herbert his flowers, but I don't like when the discussion comes up. Who are the best quarterbacks in the AFC West? Oh, Herbert's clearly better than Carr. I don't like that shit because
you're also biased.
No, I'm not.
I say this.
Hold on, wait. I swear I'm not being biased right now because I will admit every day of the week that Pat Holmes is better than Carr. I'll say that every day. I'll say that in my sleep. I will never deny that. You can't even.
The only reason I think you say that is because the gap isn't as large between Herbert and Carr than it is Mahomes and Carr. So before we continue to go into this rant that you're doing, right? You could go give all the credit in the world to Derek Carr for your stretch last year, but do not forget that your defense also stepped up to every bit of challenge that walked the way and played way above their ceiling. Your DBs stepped up massive in your last 3 weeks, especially in that game against the Chargers, where they had zero business being in that game defensively with the talent that the Chargers have at wide receiver.
You mean how we gave up like 8 4th and 10s? That defense you're talking about? The one you were just shitting on ruthlessly?
Yeah, your defense last year. Yeah, they played a bunch above their ceiling. Again, your defense is not good and it hasn't been good, right? And you know this. I know this. You're just going to disagree because you're a Raiders fan.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
But, your defense stepped up major in these games. Granted,
and it still
when you
wasn't
play
that
against
great.
a great quarterback like Justin Herbert, when has Justin Herbert put the team on his back? Oh, wait, week 17, where we literally were brought to that fucking final minute of the game was like 30 minutes because y'all kept calling timeouts and doing all sorts of penalties because Justin Herbert was driving down the fucking field. There's a moment where
what did he do in overtime?
Goddamn back.
What did he do in overtime?
Oh,
because that's when you win. That's when you actually win the game. I'm talking about winning the game. I'm not talking about time. I don't care about leading a team to time. I'm talking about wins. Tell me about what he did in overtime.
He put the team on his back to get him there.
Oh, who cares? Tell me about what he did in overtime.
And here's the thing. And the only reason you guys won is because the coach called a timeout.
Well, yes, it's always coaching. When it comes to the Raiders, it's the players. But every other team is coaching.
When have I blamed the Raiders players? Mike, have I blamed the Raiders players?
Hunter Renfrow.
Not really.
Hunter Renfrow fumbled the game and fumbled the ball in overtime. That is his fault.
Yeah.
Derek Carr. You're quick to get on Renfrow. You're quick to get on Carr.
I'm not quick to get on Carr because I tell you this all the time. I like Derek Carr. I have not blamed Derek Carr for shit this year. You have, not me.
Chandler Jones.
You have blamed Chandler Jones.
You have blamed Chandler Jones too.
I have said that Chandler Jones does not look like a good investment. Because guess what Chandler Jones had sack-wise last year at this time? 5 in one game. He can't even get you 1. So it doesn't look like a good thing. You guys would have been fine keeping Ngakoue and not paying $20 million for Chandler Jones.
Well, the jury's still on him. He's been invisible. It's been Max Crosby, and he's looking to his other side. He don't see nobody. So
I understand.
I'm just so disappointed. We're not getting any. Our pass rush has been damn near close to abysmal.
I just don't think it's fair to criticize a 24-year-old for being a 24-year-old who's still great. By the way, he's a great 24-year-old.
But this is what I'm trying to say, Dylan. What leg do I have to stand on? Because if I call out certain things, you're going to hit me with the age argument.
Are we going to sit here and say it's not okay for a young quarterback to make mistakes?
Are we going to sit here and say it's not okay for a 31-year-old quarterback to make mistakes?
When the 31-year-old quarterback makes the same mistakes a 24-year-old quarterback is making because he's not progressing through reads, no, it's not. You can't do that when you're that experienced. Those are things that I expect you to be over, right? Those are the little hiccups that I expect you to be done with. Those are the growing pains at the position that only get from when you're first drafted to when you're like 26. Once you're past 26, you don't get those excuses anymore.
Well, but the thing is, I agree with that, and that's the main complaints that me and a lot of people in Raider Nation we have with Derek Carr. He's still making some of those basic hiccups and whatnot, but I don't think anyone's expecting perfection from him. Like, I feel like you're expecting him to just not make those hiccups anymore completely. Like,
no,
it's gonna happen every now and then. Like,
everybody makes mistakes, and like even when I'm the biggest Mahomes fan here. When Mahomes makes mistakes, I'm like, Jesus, you can't be doing that.
But he's young.
Mahomes is past that stage of
he's past that stage. Oh, come on, man.
How old is Patrick Mahomes?
He's 20. I think he either just turned 27 or he's still 26.
I said from when you get drafted to when you're 26 years old.
That's right at the cusp, man.
Once you're into your second contract, you don't get that youth excuse anymore.
I gotta look at these. But
that's how it goes. Once you're into that second contract, your excuse bin is over because you earned your NFL quarterback contract. Once you get that money, more responsibility, more pressure goes on you, and you get less leeway. Is that not how that works?
No, I do agree.
Like Roz, if we were to roll with Zach Wilson going forward, and Zach, after we paid him X amount of money, is still making the mistakes he was making last year, we're going to be furious. He doesn't get that. You don't get that leeway anymore. You had your growing pains. You're now a quarterback. You don't get it anymore.
It's like that's why the a lot of the people who are much smarter at football than me will say you look for a quarterback until you have one. It's that important. It's the only position where one person touches the football every single play. Ideally.
It's
right?
The center.
Of course, like the center too. Right? So I mean, like it's those two positions are like it's not also a coincidence that like the four pillars are you get the quarterback, you protect the quarterback, you get to the quarterback, right? Like and then I believe the last one is like
corner, but I don't remember exactly.
Corner, but I think it's like you stop the pass or something like that. But it's no coincidence. It's all centered around the quarterback. So, I mean, like, that's why when guys like Derek Carr get, like, huge contracts, like, I'm okay with that. Because I'm like, Derek Carr is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And you just can't allow a quarterback like that to just walk. Even if you feel like he's not the greatest or doesn't even have him in.
It's how Kirk Cousins still has a job.
To take that's why Kirk Cousins still has a job. Because you could say to yourself,
playing better than Carr right now. I'll tell you that.
What's the alternative though?
Yes, he is.
Right. The alternative is you are what the Jets are, which is perpetually seemingly looking for a quarterback, and like you keep saying like I got to keep drafting until I get one. And the way the slotting is where it's not like when Matthew Stafford came in, where you're paying your quarterback right off the gate like $60 million guaranteed. So it's that makes it better, so you can take more bites at the apple. But you see it all around. I mean, Cleveland gave a completely guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson right after he's coming off of, or even I'm wrong. He was in the midst of still trying to settle a bunch of sexual allegations, like lawsuits against him. And they gave him the most guaranteed money for a quarterback ever.
And he also hasn't played football in like 2 years.
And he hasn't played football in 2 years. So if anyone wants to give, like, that's my exhibit A. When everyone talks, be like, well, like, why is it such a big deal to try to find a quarterback, whatever. That was it, right? That is that is the case. This is how desperate people are. Like, this is how desperate teams are. Like, so, I mean, Herbert, it wouldn't be the first time, right? Herbert's story isn't fully done yet. It wouldn't be the first time in NFL history someone comes out, lights it on fire, and then in the midst of them being in their quarterback prime are just mediocre. They don't live up to their potential. And, or they even do, and then they become great. So Herbert's on the track to be one of those greats. But Carr's body of work is much better than Herbert's at this point because he's been there and he's proven it across different regimes, right? So definitely give David Carr his credit. The problem with the Raiders is I feel like they're like almost trying to outsmart themselves. It's so weird because Devontae Adams is a touchdown machine. He's a hit.
And he's literally always open.
Yeah, they locked him up. That's awesome. He's also pretty darn good.
He has been good this year, though.
But then you have the running back situation where it's like, you're trying to install the committee that the Patriots are doing, and you're doing all of that, and then you're trying to figure out, like, Josh Jacobs was like the two-way back, the quintessential two-way back. He was like a Pro Bowler when he walked in here, right?
McDaniels hates him.
And McDaniels is like so stubborn. And this is what got him in trouble in Denver, is he's so stubborn. There are some coaches, there are some coordinators that believe that their scheme is above anything, right? It's the same gripe I have with Saleh, which is his defense, him and Ulbrich, it doesn't matter.
When we get to the Jets, I'll talk about that because I hate Ulbrich. And
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're just like, my scheme is my scheme. If it's not working, it's because I don't have the right players to make it work. But what happened to the coaches that, adjust to their players? And that's why Andy Reid is so great, because how is Patrick Mahomes just keep bringing in all these different people and somehow they magically are able to just function in Andy Reid's offense, right? Like I heard it's complicated, but Andy Reid says, let me just, on offense, Ian Bieniemy, they work together and say, listen, we're going to play and make sure these guys shine and whatever they can do. Whatever the limitations are, we're going to get them to do what they need to do. And they're successful, right? There's no way guys like, maybe he is the next best thing. I'm not sure. But if I'm a betting man, I'm not going to bet on Pacheco being the next, like, Larry Johnson or something like that. Like, I'm not going to bet on him being the next Brian Westbrook. It's possible, but I have to chalk it up to Andy Reid's coaching. I have to chalk up the fact that, like, Juju Smith-Schuster looked like absolute, like, crap before he left the Steelers, right? He also probably put one of the worst bets on a wide receiver that he's probably had in, like, the last 5 years. He's bet on himself. I can't tell you that, like, guys aren't – and then, of course, there's the talent, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's talent and the coaching, right? There's no reason why guys like Romeo Doubs and all those other guys are winning against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense and Tom Brady with their talent on the field. And that's because Aaron Rodgers is there. And that's also because LaFleur is a good offensive coach. So it's the disconnect between the Raiders is the talent and the coaching. They're not matching up. The Chargers are in the sham. They have to get over this injury situation that they're having. Rashawn Slater going down for the whole year is
massive.
Devastating. And I can't stress that enough, right? Like, that's devastating.
Well, 1 year in the league is already one of the top tackles in football.
That draft is going to go down as being one of those legendary drafts. I mean, like, you have
a lot of good players in that draft.
The first 13 picks are, like, absolutely insane. Like, legitimately from a talent perspective, there's some that are, like, unfortunately yet to be seen, and they happen to be on my team, but nonetheless, from 1 to 13, you're getting, like, primo talent across the board. So, yeah, like, the Chargers and the Raiders, that we all knew that division was going to be a dogfight, and it's we should be super happy as NFL fans because it's on path to being one of those things where we don't even know who's going to win. I mean, like you assume the Chiefs because they're starting out very well.
I still think the Chiefs are going to win that division, even though they fucked me on that parlay. I had a nasty parlay that I was going to hit, and I just needed the Chiefs to win plus 5.5, and they fucking lost. I fucking threw everything.
And the Chiefs are going to do the Chiefs thing. They do this every year. Like they lose. Like
Anthony thinks the Chiefs are going to win like 8 games.
Ironically, the team that did that to them in the past few years were the Raiders. Like they come in and they just like don't play up to their immense talent, and they dropped the game against the Colts and against a Colts team that had no business beating the Chiefs. So the division is going to be a dogfight, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen on that end. But we'll see.
We'll see. What was we talking about again?
Anthony turned this into like Herbert stinks.
I didn't say
Herbert stinks. That's right.
Because
I was. Go ahead, Anthony.
Look, I made enough statements. I mean, Dylan loves to use this whole age thing. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna say this. Herbert's first few years, Carr's first few years, 12-4 playoff appearance. Herbert's first few years, disappointment. I mean, I listen. I'm just throwing things out there. That's all I'm saying.
Anthony, here's what I'm going to say. I will not give anybody who goes to the playoffs kudos if you lose immediately.
Oh wow,
that's the one thing I will never like. Give
so you don't think it's an accomplishment to get to the postseason, Dylan?
I think it's a
compliment. I mean, you're a Jets fan, so it's kind of rare to you. But like,
Anthony, we have won more postseason games in the last fucking 15 years than you guys have in like 40. So shut the fuck up. So I don't want to hear about that shit. Oh, we made the playoffs just to lose and have a terrible draft pick.
I'm just saying, you be acting like going to the postseason ain't no accomplishment. Like that's an accomplishment.
Here's the thing: if the Jets make the postseason, I do not want to go if I know it's going to be a guaranteed loss.
But hold on, wait. See, that's an issue I have. Hold on, wait.
No. Here's what I say. For me, you guys cannot speak for me. I can speak for me. If there's a situation where it's like we can win, I'm all in, right? Because you just need the correct path. Look at the 49ers last year. They got the correct path. If the 49ers play anybody else, they could be out immediately. If the Jets are in a situation where, hey, we are in a guaranteed L, I don't want that. Just give me the better draft pick at that point. Because what is that going to do for me? What is that going to do for my team?
But that also speaks to your obsession with these damn drafts, man. Like, come on, man. So you're telling me you would rather just the Jets lose so you get a better draft pick? Come on, you got to quit this.
If you're going to lose, and that lose could cost you 4 slots on a thing, and that's also a cap move, where that move.
But what about the players you have right now? The cap? What about developing these players you have right now? What is
getting waxed in the playoffs going to do for the development of my players?
But you're making the playoffs. You guys are a perpetual 6-win team, 5-6-win team. You're going from that to a postseason berth. That means your players are developing. They're learning. They're progressing. How about you take some more onus in that rather than thinking about a goddamn draft?
But then just to take everything that we did in the season and get it thrown out and waxed because we ran into one of these buzzsaws who are hot.
But think about the Eagles last year. Eagles got waxed by the Buccaneers, but it was still progression. They made the postseason. Look at the Eagles right now. They're 3-0. They're arguably the best team in the league right now.
But like here's what I'll say.
But it's not because of it's not entirely because of the talent they developed. They went and they traded for one of the better wide receivers in football.
But that doesn't.
They're doing the thing you're supposed to do.
But Hurts. So far is making that leap too as well.
Because the organization is doing the correct things to make sure they're not fucking up their investment on a second round quarterback who's making no money. But that's what they could do it.
Here's the thing, like
let Roz speak. Let Roz go.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? And I'm a believer in both. So I agree with Dylan in the sense of, if you know that you are mathematically not going to make the playoffs, then I'm going to say, please find a way. Now, you can't tank, right? As much as I like to say, as much as the fans say, oh, yeah, let's tank, I don't get it, and stuff like that, even I get mad at it. From an implementation standpoint, you can't tank. Like, that's the integrity of the game. But You can do things that maybe don't put you in the best way to win, but it's in the best interest of your future, right? For instance, I'm going to use my own team, the Jets, right? They were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs at a very early point. There was a quarterback coming out who was supposed to be the best quarterback since Andrew Luck. You know what the Jets could have done? The Jets could have played all of their young players, and guess what? They could have gotten a better look at what their future was, right? So what it does at least is you don't have to wait till training camp to see whether something is in another player or if they have a chance to show something, or maybe they were just, maybe they could supplant, the veteran that's there for the 1 year, et cetera, et cetera. I get you play the veterans, you toe the line, you want people to come here who are veterans, and you don't feel like you're going to take money out of their pockets. Here's my thing, is that those veterans are leaving anyway. They aren't resigning with you. And at some point, you have to let them know, hey, I have to do what's in the best interest of the entire organization, right? No one looks back and says, oh, man, the Colts were just absolutely just disrespecting their veterans and everything by just basically parking their asses and letting all those young guys play, looking like fools, and then trotting out the card for Andrew Luck the next year. No one said anything about that. They were just mad that the Colts were able to execute the plan, right? And it's different because it matters, right? The difference between us, right, playing the young guys and maybe losing an extra 2 games or so is the difference between us picking T. Higgins at 33 and then all of a sudden picking someone who's just going to bust, or Denzel Mims at 38. Like, there's a difference between us picking Zach Wilson at number 2 and not picking Trevor Lawrence at number 1, right? There's a difference between that, right? And the reason behind that is we don't need to keep trying to play these aging veterans and trying to just win like this if we can just sit here and play the young guys who are going to be on the team anyway, right? If you didn't want them on the 53, don't even have them on the 53. You get a chance to play them, you play them, right? Doesn't mess up the integrity of the game. They want to win too. They want to make money too, right? But you play these guys already, and obviously the product on the field isn't worth anything because you're eliminated already. That's my logic on, like, quote unquote tanking and not letting anyone there. I agree with
the way this Jets team is currently built. I don't have the confidence that I had in 2009, where it's like, yo, we have one of the best defenses in the league. Like, we're still trying to figure that out. Where in 2009, the defense was great right away, and there was not a team I didn't think we couldn't have beaten in 2009. Even when we lost to those games, I went into every week, I was like, we could beat that Colts team in the AFC Championship game. We could beat that Steelers team in the AFC Championship game. The Saints in the Super Bowl, we could have beaten that Saints team in the Super Bowl. The only one I don't think we could have beaten had been the Packers. I don't think we could have beat the Packers, even though that year we're the only team that held them to 0 touchdowns and won. But there was not a team we faced that I was like, we can beat them. If we were to go to the playoffs this year, I'm like, we're a first-round exit immediately, depending on who our matchup is. And that's not great for anybody, because what happens if we go into that, Zach looks great for the whole season, and then he goes into the playoffs and he throws 5 interceptions off the rip? That does nobody good.
But see, here's what I'm going to say this. I also think it's a good idea that they need to go to the playoffs. I think it's important that if they can make to the playoffs, like Anthony is saying, you have to let those guys make the playoffs, right? If you have any chance of this team, specifically this Jets team, they've been mired in either mediocrity or just awfulness for so long. At this point, you take any chance that you have to go to the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you know for a fact you're going to get your doors blown off. You got to get into the playoffs if you can as this Jets team, because it galvanizes the fan base. It galvanizes the young guys. And then what happens is those young guys going into next year, the Garrett Wilsons, the JJs, all those guys, they're going to go and they're going to say, hey, we got talent. And so now those little, like, times where people are like, give me an extra $50 million, or like
jet tax goes away.
Then it's like it may not go away, but the price starts lessening, right? And then now you have, we can have like an actual, like, team that can repeat and stuff like that to help supplement the draft. It's very, very, very rare that any team across any sport is going to sit here and draft their championship team from bottom and up. I think they said there is a team in NFL that like most of their team consists of like 82% of it being drafted, which was like pretty cool. I can't remember the team.
Probably with the Chiefs, to be honest.
There is a team I can't remember currently, but still, right? Like that's not how it's done, right?
Yeah.
You draft the foundation, the tree bears fruit, then you start getting the veterans to supplement them, and you have a monster team. You can't just draft. If you wait on that, the draft's a crapshoot. You might as well be playing the lottery. Like, so I'm not like a draft pick quarter. I'm just like saying like, yo, like if you know you're out, like you're out. So for instance, if the Raiders are like 0-7,
just
don't
even try. Why are you winning games?
Like no, it's not even.
Just go play your young guys, see what you got, and then what happens.
Because if you win with the young guys, then at least you know, hey, that was my fault. The young guys should have been playing. They're better in the system. Maybe I don't need to pay some of these other guys or bring some of these other guys, or maybe I can
let
cut
Chandler
back
Jones
on some.
bounce.
You know,
I
like,
can go get Will Anderson
I can
in
trade
the draft
this
now.
guy because the young guys are doing their thing, so you can still win, and it gives you a better idea of what your whole roster is capable of. But yeah, like it's tough. It's real tough. It's super tough to toe the line.
I think there is like a happy medium there. I think that's kind of where Roz is coming from. I see what you definitely think.
I see it both ways. Usually I'm the guy that's like crying for the playoff berth, but it's like there's parts of me too where it's just like, you know what? I don't want to feel that heartbreak. I don't want to deal with that heartbreak.
Yeah, but I guess what confuses me is like, how do you not see that as progression though? How do you not see that in a positive light?
Progression. But I could also see it as regression at the same time. Addition by subtraction, if you will.
But you don't think, okay, let's say Jets get a wild card spot, get the doors blown off them at Buffalo, first round. Like, even though, yes, blowout, 40-point loss, whatever you want to call it, you still don't look at it as like, hey, everyone was expecting us to win 6 games. We made it to the postseason.
No, I see it that way, but then it's also like not great confidence-wise for some of these guys.
No, but don't you think that would motivate a team? That can motivate a team.
Yeah,
like, it absolutely can. Like, it absolutely can. But I don't know
like,
how Zach is mentally yet with stuff like that.
But you'll find out. That's the point.
I'll find out.
Find
but then it's like
a
if
lot
it turns
about
out that Zach is exactly what I like. I'm still very up in the air with Zach, where it's like I'm just hoping for him to be good. I don't think I know what he is yet, but I don't know how a devastating performance in a playoff game could deal with him, and that could just be us. It's like, well, now we're out the door.
But that's even better because if that's the case, then he's not the guy. If he gets
I'm tired of
the guy.
Trying to find the guy.
But you got.
There's no way he can't. If he led you out to the playoffs, there's no way he can't.
But here's the thing.
No, Blake Bortles was like a game away from the Super Bowl, and he absolutely was not the guy.
Yeah, but everybody and blind people even saw that.
No, there was times where Blake Bortles was like towing the line of being a guy or not.
So here's the thing: if he wilts and you say, okay, he's not the guy, you could tell he's like shell shocked. He's not the guy. You have 2 choices. One, you go all in and just say, guess what? It's his first time. He'll be back, right? The second thing you can say is, okay, he's not the guy. And then you completely find out from a much earlier standpoint than playing the whole like, oh, it's his 3rd year. We have to go with him. And you go ahead and you use whatever resources you have at your disposal to get the guy.
Yeah, you go get Lamar Jackson before
you go to
Miami. You do whatever you got to do.
And to use your own argument against you, Dylan, it's not just about the quarterback. It's about the whole team. It's about getting all those other guys playoff experience also.
Quote my man below me, the quarterback's what stirs the drink.
Quarterback stirs the drink.
The quarterback's the most important position on the field. If you don't have a quarterback, you got nothing.
You got nothing.
You got to get these guys. You got to get these guys. You can't teach that playoff experience. Like, and it's hard. Even getting blown. No, you can't teach that. And it hardens you. Like we make, and I'm going to switch the sport, but I'm still happy that the Knicks made the playoffs and had that feeling and had that pain of losing. They're better for it, and they're more hungry because they want that back.
They're better for it?
Themselves.
I don't think they're
hold
better.
on. They're definitely not better for it.
They're better for it because they know. Let me explain. They're better for it because they know what it takes to get there. They know they can get there, and they know what they have to fix to get to move on. Like it's experience. You can't teach that experience to them. Do you think that the Indiana Pacers know what it takes to get to the playoffs right now? No, they don't. But the Knicks do. The Knicks know how to play in a big game. They know how to play in that environment, Dylan.
Mike, what was your guys' record last year? Because clearly you do not know what it takes to make the playoffs.
No, but still, they're better for it. They're still better because they're better for having gone through that pain.
But the thing about it is,
that's great if you were to come into the next year and like you make the playoffs and then you play better. You went from making the playoffs to not.
One of the things I mentioned was the front office has to go all in and they have to support the team. If the front office fails to identify that that's something that they want to do, and that's what the Knicks front office did, they went out and didn't properly evaluate what they had, and then they went out and got people who failed.
Which is fine.
And the city turned on Julius Randle.
But individually, as players, RJ Barrett is better for playing in the playoffs. Obi is better for playing all these guys got playoff experience. Do you think that the dude that DeJounte Murray that the Hawks just got, he has limited playoff experience? You don't think that's going to be a new world for him when the Hawks make the playoffs? You don't think that Trey and them are going to have to get him ready for that? But I'm saying you can't teach that experience. So even if you get your doors blown off, you can't teach that. So getting there is a benefit regardless of what happens. It's a benefit because you can't teach that experience. You got to go through it, good or bad. You got to go through it. That's true. That's why I'm saying there's no way it's a bad thing to make the playoffs. Regardless of if you're in a position to make the playoffs, you make the playoffs because you can't teach what you're going to get in there.
That's true.
It's a different game.
That's what I talked about. The playoffs are a crapshoot too. Like it's something. There is something called getting hot, and like teams that are coming out of nowhere that shouldn't be doing good, and they do stuff in the playoffs.
Case in point, those Hawks got hot.
The Giants in that
the Giants Super
season.
Bowl runs.
The first one in the
Mike's
last
a Giants
decade.
fan. He would know.
That is true. That is true. I'm gonna sign that. I'm gonna stamp that.
I am a Titans fan. And I like the Giants. Yes, I like the Giants.
It's funny. I was at Taco Town today too. I was getting a bowl. And then they had the 2007 Super Bowl on the screen. Like, they were playing it on the TV. Like, and they were just...
You should take pictures. Like, Mike, your boys.
I was very happy when that happened. I went to the parade.
It was still crazy. It was just like, damn. I was like, this really happened. I remembered, like, school that week. Everybody was like, Patriots. Like, all the girls, all the diehard female Patriots fans.
You have no idea what it was like being in New York at that time. I was in Queens at St. John's when the Giants won that Super Bowl, and it was a different level.
Magnificent, wasn't it? Magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh man, that must have been wild. And then I did it again back in 2011 too.
Yeah, they did it again in 2011.
Yeah. See, I wish the Giants were good again. I mean, speaking of the Giants for 1 second. Speaking of the Giants, they played a very good game against the Cowboys. They played a very good game.
They did.
45 minutes.
No, they did. I'm going to say they played a great game. I'm saying it now, and I'm still going to say it until proven otherwise. Dayz better than Salah. Until proven otherwise.
Rod's boy right
but here's the thing. They lost because of Dayz. They lost because of Dayball's lack of adjustments.
There's no way the Giants with that offensive line should have even been in that game, and that's because of Brian Daboll. That's because of Brian Daboll.
That is true.
No shot.
And then instead of swapping out and putting in their $20 million receiver to fucking try to get somebody to secure a catch, while fucking all of Jones's passes are being fucking dropped or thrown at their feet. He's fucking sitting there just letting these guys rock out and taking himself out of the position to win.
Yeah, but if you're talking about Galladay, he was part of the drop receiver crew too.
Yes,
and then he pulls him out immediately. Galladay is a guy.
In the game.
Galladay's a guy. It's like once you pull him out, you need to put him back in. It's not like he's one of these second-year guys where it's like, okay, you drop the ball, pull him out.
Last year he was in. All year last year.
Last year, he was not. He barely played last year. He was hurt. He played like 7 games.
And when he played, he wasn't good.
Galladay is this example that Daboll's doing of just like saying "fuck you" and "fuck the money you paid this guy." I want him out, and I think it's really funny.
And he knows that, and he knows it, and it happens, right? I wish somebody would come in and do that with Corey Davis. He's awful right now.
I hate him.
You know? And Galladay's contract's even worse than his.
It is, but at least at least Davis's contract is 13.5 and not fucking 20.
Yeah, I gave him $13 million a year.
That's not bad compared to all these receivers getting 25.
Yeah, but Davis is awful.
Davis' contract, based off of his production the year before, is actually very good.
How much of that is still guaranteed, though?
Just this year.
Nothing.
Just this. Okay, so you guys can cut him out. Okay.
But listen, Daboll's the reason why you even know who Richie James is, bro. Like, Richie James is out here looking like he's like literally like could start for other teams. Like, you know, Saquon Barkley is like rejuvenated.
He's healthy.
He's healthy, man.
Like,
he's healthy.
Like the tight end Bellinger's doing stuff. It's like, you know, everyone was like, what are they going to do without Evan Ingram, who's actually fairly decent right now in Jacksonville too, by the way. He's putting his stamp on the team. The defense has it seems like they actually care. You know, again, there's no reason the Giants should have even been in that game with their O-line being their O-line being dominated. Like, if you want to talk about being dominated,
the offensive line was terrible. So I will not say the Giants didn't play well, right? The Giants played well yesterday in a game they probably shouldn't have been in because of how bad their offensive line is. But you guys sitting here saying Daniel Jones played like a great game is wild.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
He played a good game.
He played better than
he played a good game.
He played it compared to Daniel Jones' standard.
Okay game.
He played an okay game, Anthony.
Yeah, he played
the one thing Daniel Jones did great yesterday was set up Saquon Barkley by running.
Yes,
and the only reason he ran is because he had to.
No, he didn't have to. But he decided it counts, though.
It counts, but it's because he had to. It wasn't like the game plan going in. It's
the Cowboys were getting a lot of pressure, though.
Yeah, but what about the multitude of plays he extended with his arms?
What about the multitude of plays he underthrew a receiver, put a receiver in a situation that knocks the ball out, threw the ball at the receiver's feet behind them while running them out?
No,
you can't recognize the good.
No, but he had
to ignore the bad.
I'm not saying that it was all good. He definitely had some bad. He definitely
took a lot of bad.
He took quite a few more sacks than he should have taken. He only just started to be like, okay, let me throw the ball away towards the end of the game. It's like, dude, you should have done that 4 sacks. All right, so I'm not going to completely just, ignore his bad and whatnot. But my thing is, he made a lot of beautiful throws, and he had a lot of drop passes.
And a lot of throws.
But my thing is, at the end of the game, that receiver literally slipped. He slipped.
Yeah, and I was trolling on that, saying that was Daniel Jones' fault because I thought that was really funny.
Here's my thing. Here's me being honest. Salah loses by 25 in that same game.
Oh
wow.
Wow.
Well, who's quarterback?
Wow. I mean, if Daniel Jones is quarterback, they still lose. They lose by 25.
Because if we have Joe Flacco, we don't score.
Yeah.
and if they have Flacco, they also don't score. It's all about the talent that you're presented with.
No, the same Daniel Jones, same team, a Salah-led team in that Giants team. They lose by 20.
That's where I disagree with you because
25.
Because I don't think Daniel Jones is better because of Daboll because Daniel Jones still stinks.
No, but the way that Daboll because here's my thing, right?
The way that Daboll is not scared to play rookies.
No.
And play the guys on his team, and he has a good offense, and he's attacking a Cowboys defense that outside of Micah Parsons and D-Law their defense actually isn't very good?
I mean, honestly, outside of a very select few, the league isn't set up inherently for defensive-led head coaches to succeed as much as the offensively, like poised head coaches. Like, if you look at the last head coaches that are in the playoffs, they're all offensive-minded head coaches, right? This is like the league as itself right now is put points on the board. That's number one. Even the way that the actual like rules are situated, they're not even in favor of defensive having like defenses that are in the top 10. They're still giving up certain amount of points, and you'd be surprised. They're not the top 10 defenses of the Ravens back in the days, the Jets in 2009, like even those like monster teams, even the 49ers from a long time ago, like that Saleh even, like Saleh has a top 5 team one year, and all of a sudden, like, if you look back at it, he's like the greatest thing since sliced bread defensively. The league is not set up for defenses to flourish as much as offenses. And if you know that, he's inherently at a disadvantage. Do I think that he could be a great coach or even a good coach? Sure. Do I think he's that now? No. There's no inclination that he's a good coach.
I don't think either one of these guys are great coaches yet.
I think Dayz has a better chance. I think so far what he's shown compared to what Saleh's shown, and you can make whatever arguments you want, I feel like the talent on this team is not much better than the talent that was on the Jets last year. Not that much. Saquon is the biggest thing there. But, I mean, Kadarius Toney, I don't think Kadarius Toney should be a better player than Corey Davis when he stepped on the field last year. I don't think he should be better than Elijah Moore was last year. I don't think the tight ends now were better than our tight ends last year, and our tight ends were abysmal. I don't think the offensive line was better than our offensive line last year, right?
Well, it's different. It's circumstances. We're about to have a practice squad player start at left tackle on Sunday.
I'm talking about last year.
Oh, last year? No, we had George Fant was a solid left tackle last year. But the difference is the Giants on two different ends of the spectrum have the statistical best left tackle in football in Andrew Thomas. And
Andrew Thomas has been awful this year.
Statistically, he's the best left tackle in football.
That's not true.
It's either they have the two opposite ends of the spectrum. Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas are the worst and best tackles in football, according to Pro Football Focus.
Of the entire year, Andrew Thomas is number one. Probably not after last game, though.
Probably not after last game, but again, they also had Joe Flacco rated as QB3, and we know that's not real.
And that's not true after last game.
That never was true, Roz.
It was true going into week 3.
Yeah, statistically, but let's go. Let's ignore that.
Has Flacco been that bad?
No.
Flacco's horrible. No. He was horrible week 1. He was horrible week 3, and then we caught a break week 2. Let's not do that.
He was good.
Flacco was terrible.
He was good for 8 minutes.
Exactly.
Here we go. Nonetheless,
that Ravens game was awful, and I don't want to hear anything because he was slinging it the end of the game when the Ravens were fucking in drop back to get him another 150 yards and a tutter.
I still think with the same team, that same Giants team saw loses by 25 points. And I'm going to tell you this because there's nothing at any level that would have you think otherwise, talent or talent. Because I think that Jets team is more talented than the Giants team, and he's still getting blown out by 20 points.
But he's also playing better teams. Is he not? Have we not played 3 better teams than what the Giants have played?
I mean, like at their like complete like top like everyone's healthy type of thing, I could argue that Dallas could be like up there with Cleveland.
But Dallas doesn't have Michael Gallup. Dallas doesn't have Dak Prescott.
But that's
Dallas
what I'm saying.
Doesn't have Tyrone Smith. Dallas's offensive line is Swiss cheese. Their defense is Micah Parsons, D-Law, and Diggs, and Diggs stinks. Like that Dallas Cowboys team actually like isn't that good.
Diggs isn't bad.
Diggs is very overrated.
Their defense is good.
Their defense is good. I think
their defense is very overrated.
Too. I just think that yes, the Jets play better teams, but I just don't think 9 games in a row is crazy.
If we played the same level of talent to start off the season that the Giants did, we'd probably be in the same boat. But again, they only have one more win than us.
But You have to understand, like 9 games allowing 21 or more points is insane. That's insanity.
Yeah. 9 games. Excuse me. So we start off this season playing 3 teams that are like playoff teams. One of them being MVP caliber quarterback. 2 of them being MVP caliber.
Yeah, 2 of them actually.
Yeah. Two of them being teams that can be in the Super Bowl.
But
one of them who will be a perennial
playoff
team. And then last year, if we're going to go with completely different players
6
and
games
different
prior
staff,
to that.
Like, what are we doing here? We're going to compare that team with fucking Elijah Riley playing safety?
So my thing is, when is enough?
You have to let the cookie bake.
But how many games of you having your team get at least 21 plus points allowed?
How many games has this staff played with Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, Quillen Williams, CJ Mosley, Quan Alexander, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed? 3. I'm going to let this cookie bake and stop referring to last year because we didn't have half of those guys because we upgraded a lot of talent from there. The cookie needs to bake.
Okay, but how about
and when we start playing teams that are a little bit closer to our talent level and not like these playoff teams, things will kind of figure itself out. Once we're at like week 7 and it's like, or week 8 and it's like, okay, we're starting to play these teams and this is still happening, then I'll be like, okay, we need to fucking do something, but let's let the cookie bake.
I just want to make this very clear, everyone. Robert Saleh's win and loss record is very Adam Gase-ish. It's very close to Adam Gase over the 2-year span. So for everyone, don't let the wool come over your eye.
Meanwhile, Robert Saleh is the first Jet head coach to win a game in September in 6 years.
I mean, that's awesome, but it's very close.
We're in the last 3 years, we haven't started winning games since like February.
Very close. Very close to Adam Gase. Very close. If you did here's Coach A, here's Coach B, and you just gave the records and you said who's who, you would say, oh, that.
But that lacks context,
terrible.
Roz, and that's incredibly disingenuous.
How? You are what the great Parcells.
Because you need talent on your team to win football games.
Your record says you are, and he has the talent, and he's 1-2.
Perfect. You know who also a team that has a ton of talent? The Raiders, and they haven't won shit.
That's true. Josh McDaniels
full
record.
Circle.
It goes full circle. So it's like
Josh McDaniels record.
That team has the best wide receiver in football, the arguably, like on paper, the best pass rushing tandem in football between Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. If you just look at their careers to this point, they are arguably the best duo on the edges in football.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
It's up for debate, but that's fine because you also have guys in LA with Mack and Bosa is also up there.
It's
debatable.
Parsons and Lawrence too, and nothing to say that.
It's debatable. But like you have one of the better defensive duos at the edges to do it. You have a quarterback who is now top 5 paid quarterbacks in football, who is also a top 10 quarterback in football.
Top 10 quarterback too.
A top 3 tight end.
I can already have top.
You have talent. They have elite talent on their roster, and they can't win football games. Let the cookie bake.
We'll see. I'm just telling you that Saleh's record
leaves
a lot to be desired. And
but Roz is ready to roast Saleh over the fire like a pig in a fucking luau.
I'm
just sitting here just like, let it build, bro. Like, we haven't even played a game with our starting quarterback.
If you're going into year 2 and your coach's record is 4-15.
God damn.
Just letting you know. It's not good.
But are we going to ignore the fact that this team hasn't played with its starting quarterback and is also missing its starter and backup left tackle, right tackle? Like there's variables.
Yeah, man. Every team.
It's not so black and white.
Every team does.
That's not fair. That's
the
gray area in
football. You can literally make the same argument.
Gray area.
You can make the same argument for every team. They're missing this guy.
I will give that same argument to everybody. But here's the thing: if the Jets were a team like the Browns that have this elite offensive line, this great defense, and all you have to do is just have Teddy Bridgewater hand the ball off and dump down to the flat and then occasionally throw the ball 10 yards, perfect. He just has to stay within itself, perfect. The Jets don't have that because we're running with Joe Fluco, the statue. Currently, George Fant just got put on the IR, so we're now going to be running practice squad guy at left tackle, 4th round rookie who's the 3rd string right tackle playing right tackle. And this is the offense is just inept, but all we do is talk about the defense, and the offense can't score points.
But the defense is literally one of the worst in the league, though.
Which is crazy because I would say that our defense is way better than our offense.
And that's why you can't keep trusting your eyes. That's why you can't just keep trusting your eyes because they are.
Hey man, to be
one
fair,
of the worst one of the worst defenses in the league.
But then our offense says we're 18 in football. That is a complete lie.
Well,
There's no, and the only reason it is because we throw the ball a million times at the end of the games. We score points. We scored 12 points in week 1.
I mean, we score points.
We get a lot of points against the Browns. That's where all that came.
That's where it all came from. We scored 35 points against the Browns, 1 game.
But guess what? We've consistently given up points and yards every single game.
If our offense was able to keep the defense in week 1 held the Ravens in the first half to 60 yards total defense. We couldn't score points.
Thank God that they play a whole game because then we'd be number 1
and
in
then
the league.
Let's go and continue to the rest of that game where we pressured Lamar Jackson 15 out of fucking 20 snaps, 4 QB hits, 1 sack. Lamar Jackson only throws for 200 yards. He rushed for fucking 60, which is a low that he's had in his fucking career. The rushing yards as a whole for that team were under 100 when they are the number 1 rushing attack in football. And we're going to sit here and say that the defense didn't play well. The offense literally couldn't do anything.
But how do the 49ers
the defense is the reason why we lost that game.
It must be magic. How do the 49ers seem to have a great defense and not score points, but somehow the Jets just can't crack that nut? They can't figure it out.
Can you say that again?
How come the 49ers have a great defense and they don't score as much as the Jets, and yet somehow the Jets have a means of giving up 21-plus points?
Oh, I blame Jeff Ulbrich completely. I think Ulbrich is an idiot.
Again, it's not impossible. I think Ulbrich is an idiot. The offense definitely has the putrid offense definitely plays into it.
It's a putrid offense.
But a great defense is a great defense.
I'm not saying the Jets defense is great. Right, I think the Jets defense is like
awful.
I think it is what it is. If we stop getting safety mishaps during games, maybe teams they don't score on us because every touchdown that we've had scored on us in a passing attack is a safety and not our corners because our corners apparently only give up 15 yards a game statistically, which is crazy.
But it's it's a team game. The defense is not just 2 cornerbacks. The Jets have issues on defense. Communications is one.
Yeah, and it's safety.
Not being able to the safeties are the worst safeties in the league. I mean, statistically, they are the worst safety tandem in the league. So, I don't want to pick and choose the stats and the stats are what they are. If you can believe they're the worst, if you can believe the same stats saying that they're the worst 2 tandems and they're the worst safeties in the league, the same stats are saying that the defense as a whole is one of the worst defenses in the league. So it's
I think that's an easy fix because if the safeties stop being bad, then the defense doesn't allow points.
But my thing is it sounds easy until but that's not our job. You know whose job it is?
Robert Saleh. Yeah, no, I gave it one more week before I'm Robert Saleh needs to start taking over the defense because Ulbrich is an idiot. Because I don't like what I see.
You'll be waiting forever. 5 and 15.
All right, fellas. Back to your corners. We've spent an hour and 15 minutes on the Raiders and the Jets. So
we have differing opinions. Let's talk about the fucking Titans. The team that actually gives up 400 yards a game, Roz. That defense isn't good.
They're also not the best either.
But you know who's gonna win that bet? This guy. That's who's gonna win.
You think you guys are gonna
what? Well,
I can see it.
Yes.
I can see it.
Wait, what bet are we talking about?
Me and Mike have a bet where I said the Titans will be a 20th ranked defense.
Mm-hmm.
And he says they will not.
All they have to do is finish 19 or better.
And if you guys continue to allow 400 yards a game, it's not going to happen. Roz, numbers are in my favor on that one, correct?
That is correct right now.
Like we'll agree on that. If the Titans allow 400 yards a game every game, they will not be a 19 ranked defense. They will be closer to 30.
Yes.
I will win this bet. But
this is the Reds bet all over again, where we're just dying on the hills that we don't need to die on, huh?
We are up against the clock, so I want to quickly rapid fire. Are the Eagles the best team in football?
No.
Yes.
Are the Buccaneers in trouble?
No.
Who is the best team in the AFC?
The Chiefs.
Dolphins.
I still think the Chiefs. The Dolphins got away with one. I will not say that the Dolphins are not talented or not a good team, but they very much so got away with one. They stole that game.
I think the Dolphins.
They got away with the butt punt, because if they would have lost that game, that team would have gotten ripped to shreds because of the butt punt. But they capitalized off of that heat because Stephon Diggs was cooked. He literally couldn't play at the end of the game. And then when the last play of the game where Isaiah McKenzie caught the ball and tried to run it back to the refs, those Dolphins players were doing everything in their power to bump him every single time to get to the ref. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate the gamesmanship, but the Dolphins knew they stole one. The Dolphins stole one. They absolutely did.
And are the Packers back?
No.
So, I mean, this is Aaron,
no.
They're halfway there.
That's a huge win. I will do the same half measure.
I disagree
Aaron
with
Rodgers.
that.
Aaron Rodgers is the man. And it's just like it keeps going back to the idea. If you have a quarterback, you can take chances with bringing along and developing guys and young guys who may not be the best, but if you put the ball in the best place, they can still make plays, right? And so that's what they took the chance on. They took the chance on spending more money on Aaron Rodgers and going cheap on everything else and going the rookie route and shoring up the defense. I think that was a huge win by Aaron Rodgers, and I would say if they win again next week, I think the Packers are in very good shape.
No, I don't necessarily
it's
agree with that.
It's tough for me to say they're back when Tom Brady didn't have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's not a good sample size. Like, you got
have shit.
The Bears. You got the Bears. Tom Brady would literally
always
the Bears. You got the Bears. You got Tom Brady with literally nobody to throw to. And then even next week, the Patriots fully healthy aren't even that good. Now you got a banged up Patriots with no Mac Jones. Literally, that's not a good sample.
McCorkle's not good.
I don't know.
That's another conversation. But I'm saying the sample size right now for me to be like, okay, Aaron Rodgers is back. It's not there yet. Like,
well,
okay.
Yeah, let me be honest with you. I remember not too long ago, there was a few guys that people were wondering who the heck they are. There was this quarterback that was converted to a wide receiver, and he was from like Kentucky or Western Kentucky or something like that. And there was Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to these guys, and people were like, we don't even know how that's going to work, right? Next thing you know, Randall Cobb is lighting the league up. Next thing you know, Jordy Nelson, even though he was pretty good on that Florida team, I believe he played for Florida.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Jordy Nelson is the talk of the town, and he's literally like one of the best wide receivers. He was the Cooper Kupp at some time before Cooper Kupp was Cooper Kupp.
6'5" white guys eating Wisconsin.
And I'm telling you, don't be surprised. These reps mean everything to Romeo Doubs, to Christian Watson. Yeah, he dropped a wide open pass, but his talent is definitely there. And I feel like if there's any way for these guys to grow and to reach their potential, it's with Aaron Rodgers. So if they don't reach it with Aaron Rodgers, they won't reach it. But it's the perfect environment for them to reach it. So if one of these guys emerge and you realize, like, oh crap, they're really good, it's because of Aaron Rodgers being their quarterback to start their careers off, basically. So I think you can do it.
I think they're in a great position, not just because they're in Aaron Rodgers. I think it's because they're with Randall Cobb, who knows how to play with Aaron Rodgers.
And LaFleur is awesome, man. Yeah. LaFleur is awesome.
I think Cobb is more of a help to them than Rodgers actually is. Just because Cobb knows the breaks, and the only reason I'm saying that is because Cobb knows how to run the routes for him, where he likes to throw, how to be ready. He can help them on the receiver side of it the way Rodgers can't.
I don't know. I just feel like that's like saying Julio Jones is like a bigger help to like the younger guys on the Bucs than Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers demand so much from their team.
No, I understand that. Staff. I just think for these guys who are just coming in, having a guy who has played with Rodgers for a long time is also incredibly beneficial.
But then again, that does help. But here's my issue again. The Vikings are a competitive team who are fully healthy. They got their backs blown out by them.
They're not fully healthy though.
Well, they're healthy enough. And at the end of the day, when I look at the Packers' schedule, their next 4 games, I'm like, I still ask myself that question: is the sample size good enough? They're on a 3-game homestand. Patriots at home, Giants at home, Jets at home. Then they go to Washington. That's their next 4 games. Is that a really good sample size to see is Aaron Rodgers back? But here's what I'm going to say.
Games.
After that game, they have the Sunday Night Football game, October 30th at Buffalo. That's the game that I'm looking at, personally.
I mean, yeah, that's the best team that they're going to play in that stretch, but I just don't think you just disregard those guys getting those valuable reps and then, like, building up some momentum and some steam and learning every week that they learn that system and get comfortable in that system, it's less they have to think and just letting whatever talents that they have just run wild. And Aaron Rodgers, like I said, if they're going to reach that potential, if Christian Watson's going to be the guy who was an absolute freak at the combine.
He is freaky. I do like Watson.
And if you just give him perfectly passed balls by Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's going to reach his ceiling, and then he's going to be a monster. So it's like, I just think that we need to give these guys, I said maybe, I'm in a half measure. I think we need to give these guys some time. They're all brand new, and there's no better quarterback that they can be placed with than Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Minnesota doesn't have Dalvin Cook. He had like a double whammy. I think he like his shoulder popped out of its socket or something like that. And so if they're not healthy, they lose one of their playmakers. And Kirk Cousins is like, it depends on when he plays, when he decides he wants to be good.
As long as it's like 1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins is gonna be fine.
Yeah, like it's something like that. Like,
but to be honest, the Packers schedule, they play all of 5 like tough games in their schedule.
Yeah.
It's the Bills, it's the Dolphins, it's the Eagles, and then like the Vikings.
Yeah. You play whoever's in front of you, The
Lions will play them tough. Not saying they'll win, but they'll
throw for 1 million yards on the Titans.
I'm so excited for the Lions. I'm so excited for the Lions, though, because
me too. I love watching them.
They get Jameson Williams back. That's going to be a real scary.
J-Mo in the Sun God.
It's a scary looking offense with Hawkinson and then playing it. That team puts up some points now. So
too bad they're out of the Bryce Young sweepstakes.
Yeah, we'll see. You never know how these things bounce, But yeah, we're going maybe on Aaron Rodgers over here.
So yeah, we're gonna move on. I was gonna ask you, do you have any issues with how the Dolphins handled Tua's concussion?
All the issues in the world, and they should be under investigation.
Yeah,
they are under investigation.
They are under investigation.
They absolutely deserve to be under investigation because that man didn't know who he was when he was walking off the field. Like
the replay doesn't corroborate what they're saying about his back. It's obvious in the replay his head bounced off pretty violently off the turf.
Yeah,
and then watching him kind of like get all like wobbly and all that stuff like that.
You don't get wobbly like that because of your back.
Fall down because of your back. I don't believe that. I mean, he could have suffered a back injury. I'm not saying that that's not true, but it's not a good look for McDaniels. And I really feel like if it wasn't the Bills, he probably would have not let him come back. That's damning on his point. You know, you expect them to say what they're going to say, Mike. So I think the investigation will find something on the contrary, hopefully. But it didn't look good, man. It didn't look good at all.
Need to that could really fuck up somebody's like life.
Yeah.
So
and does he play on Thursday?
He'll play.
It depends on what the league finds out with the NL and the NFL Players Association. If they find out that they violated it in some form or fashion,
Tua's probably not playing for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what the punishment will be, right? So we need to kind of watch this and see how this.
Do you punish the coaching staff? Obviously,
yes.
You punish the coaching staff, and do
you punish Tua?
I will say, do you punish the player?
Do you punish the player? I don't know. So since the NFL Player Association is involved, my assumption is that maybe they're skewing on the lines of, we're doing this to protect the player.
Yeah.
So let's try to make it's not the player's fault because
the player just got told he was cleared.
Yeah, and or the players should not have the power to override you as a coach for you to tell them if you're supposed to keep their best interest in mind, because every player is going to want to play as much as possible. So I doubt we get something from Tua. I'd be surprised, but I mean, like the Dolphins, man. Like what is their deal? Like they just need to just stay out their own way, man. Like they just keep getting caught up in these things, man. Like,
maybe they're trying to ruin Tua so they don't have to pay him, so they can trade for Lamar Jackson. Bring Lamar Jackson to the crib.
Blockbuster
moving
conspiracies.
Tua and 3 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Nightmare fuel. It's nightmare fuel for me. Absolute nightmare fuel for me.
Tua on.
I think the Ravens take that too. I really do.
I don't.
No, but that's an interesting thing. What do you think happens to Lamar at the end of the season? He has a breakout year.
He gets franchise
tagged.
He's gonna get franchised. Like, I don't know why we're all doing this. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. He's gonna get franchised.
He's gonna ask for Deshaun Watson's contract.
Bitch and moan. He's gonna bitch and moan, and they're gonna meet somewhere in the middle. Like, we all know what's gonna happen here. Like,
well, but they didn't meet somewhere in the middle. This
because they don't have to right now.
They don't have to.
Next year they have to.
But today's.
I'm just saying you never. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So
we're seeing with Aaron.
There could be a scenario where they say, "Hey, this price is too high. We can just trade this dude, get the world in return."
If they tag him, he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they're going to tag him. But there is a chance, I'm telling you, that
I don't think he plays on the tag, though.
And says,
hell no, he's not going to play on the tag.
If Tua has a good year and they say, hey, the guy got some talent, it's not like we're not giving you nothing. And then they throw a few picks in there because Miami does have some extra picks as well, too.
Before the league starts taking them away.
Right? they took it away, though. They took the pick away.
But now we got a whole new investigation.
Yeah, so it's like, they have some picks. And if Miami says, you know what, we are ready to rock and roll, like, we're going to give you, we don't care, we'll give you 3 picks. We'll give you the Deshaun Watson deal with Tua to get Lamar Jackson. It's going to be hard for that Ravens organization to say
never say never. Never say never.
I'm the one talking this into existence, even though I don't want it to happen.
I don't want that. That's literally
it's terrible. It'll be terrible for us.
It's worst case scenario.
That Waddle Hill and then Jackson.
We'd have Josh Allen and fucking Lamar Jackson in our division for the next 15 years.
It's the greatest show on turf. It's the greatest show on turf. Can't have that happen, man.
That'll be some really good Bills golf.
And like all those guys are from fucking Florida anyway. I don't want to see that whole team just become a fucking recruiting ground.
Crazy, man.
Well, you see it on the ticker. We are going to move on to Fantasy Focus. Dylan, go ahead. Who is Fantasy Focus presented by?
Mike Ortiz, Cross Country Mortgage. All right. So the fantasy focus is Anthony. You will always be Anthony.
Even though you're 1 and 2, but yeah.
Hey man, the weird thing is I'm 1 and 2, yet I've scored more points than literally everybody in the league.
Well, I am not the only one who's 0 and 3.
To be fair,
I am not the only one who's 0 and 3. Wait, isn't Ross number 1?
That didn't help you last week, did it, Dylan?
It did not. I left. If I would have played Joe Burrow and Tyler Boyd, I would have waxed Michael.
When are you gonna bench Wilson?
I'm benching him now. Wilson's never playing ever. Never. I'm on the I hate Russell Wilson as a person train now.
And watch him drop like 30 points on us.
I know, and now I'm going to look like an asshole.
To be fair, there was a lot of chatter in the draft room. And this guy right here was very, very quiet. I was just sitting here like, oh, yeah, like people are like saying a bunch of stuff. And here I am, just little old me, picking up my players, doing my little thing. And,
No, you had a great draft.
Speaks for itself. For itself.
You had a great draft. So, back to the fantasy
before
focus.
I just want to, Graz is being obnoxiously humble because me and Raj we're in 2 leagues together. And in our other league that we're in, Raj is also, me and Raj are the only undefeated teams in that other league. And we're currently on a collision course.
Yes.
Because me and Raj are absolutely wiping the floor in our other league.
Yes. Very much so.
The real good news is in my money league, I'm undefeated. So there is that.
In our fantasy league, though, I'm just letting you guys know, Dylan, I know you mentioned the points. I am number 2 in points.
And he's number 2. And he's
Roz,
number 1
I know you
in
haven't,
our other league.
You haven't been in the show
our hearts
for a little while.
Number 1 in our hearts.
I've been pointing out that Anthony has constantly had the lowest playoff percentage since the draft. He started off at a 33% playoff percentage prediction, and then it went to a 22.
Where are we at this week?
Went to
I think it's at 5 this
12.
week.
It is at 5. It is at
Wait. To be fair, the one that gave me the biggest run was Anthony. Actually, the one that gave me the hardest, out of all my leagues, the one matchup that gave me the toughest matchup was Anthony's team. I can't call it.
The crazy thing is, there's another 0-3 team. Mario is also.
He has a 7% chance,
but he has a higher percent chance than you.
and don't forget, he also had a first round draft. I didn't.
Anthony, so did you pick somebody in the first round?
I did not. I didn't get it.
Your team did.
I didn't get to.
You have a phone with an
app God, here we go.
Where you can check to see what time the draft is. You just like to make excuses and you run.
Oh my God!
It looks like your internet's working today, Anthony. Do you want to play Madden?
What?
I thought so.
Wait, what?
I said, looks like your internet's working today. Would you like to play Madden?
Sure, Dylan. It's fixed. I had the day off today, so of course I was able to get the internet. Do you want the rest of my work schedule? Huh? Do you want me to write it down? Do you want me to text it to you?
Anthony, I do not believe a single word that is coming out of
even though I sent you a picture, but yeah.
Anthony, I could also make that same thing happen.
What?
All it takes.
I don't want for my PS5 to have connection issues doing. I don't want that, all right?
But you do not want to play me. You keep calling out Josh. And you keep taking these forfeit wins, but when I decided
you're the one who said you're the one who said forfeit. Are you not the one who said forfeit?
I said if you don't play me right now, I'm taking the forfeit. I'm going.
And I literally could not play you right now. I had a screenshot.
You have internet right now. You have internet right now.
I'm talking about that day. I literally said, Dylan, here's the picture. I'm showing you I don't have connection, and you're telling me
the worst part about it is Anthony's like, "Oh, Dylan, I want to play Madden." I'm like, "Cool." He's like, "But I don't know who I want to play." Like, the big dog is here. The big drop is here.
I'm still waiting on that Madden tournament.
And he's just ducking me. And then he keeps talking to Mike about how he knows how to beat me. You don't. Mike's trying to get Anthony to just ball control, assuming I will not score when I get the ball. Not knowing Anthony doesn't know how to play defense.
I was just trying to just run the ball. No, I got it. But if you put pressure on Dylan and make Dylan actually think, no, I got it. I know how he plays. Okay.
I studied
writes
Dylan's
back
tape.
that he beat you 42-7.
Anthony, we've never finished a game. We have literally never finished a game. You quit out of every game we play.
Not true.
You don't even know what Dylan up against the ropes looks like.
Not true, but you can continue with these lies. But
Anthony, I have proof from years ago, from the last time we played.
The power in my neighborhood went out, Dylan. You already know that. That was like 2016. That was like 6 years ago, some shit like that.
It was 4 years ago.
It wasn't 4 years ago. It was 6, right?
It was 4 years ago.
It was 4?
It was 4 years ago.
4, 6, whatever. Yeah, the power went out in my neighborhood.
We've never finished a game. I've been trying to play Madden with Anthony for 4 years. We've never finished a fucking game.
I don't know what to tell you.
Stop quitting. I don't care if you're losing by 30. Don't quit.
But I'm not quitting though. That's the thing.
You're right. You are turning the system off. You are not hitting the options button and hitting quit or concede. You are just turning the game off.
Oh God, Jesus! More conspiracy theories.
At least Mike played. Me and Mike finished many games.
Mm-hmm.
Mike did not have a chance, but we finished the games.
I was in the game until about halftime, third quarter each time, except that one game where it was over quick. But I was hanging for. There's no shame in I'm honest. Hey, I was throwing picks.
Mike threw like 5 picks a game.
I was throwing picks, and it would be terrible because I would have good drives and then end it with a pick. That would be the worst part.
And then I would score. I wouldn't score on offense. I scored, I think, maybe one offensive touchdown against Mike.
Yeah, Dylan had a very tough time scoring on me offensively, except when I think one time I put the ball at like the floor or something for you. But, I played competitive. I feel like I played competitive ball. Okay. Dylan's better. All right, I have to play better.
I have not lost in video games to anybody in this podcast.
Which is going to change because I'm still mad about NBA 2K22. I'm still mad.
The last time we did this, Mike and James were taking turns after one of the pods, taking turns getting waxed. Well,
we've only played twice, Dylan. It was 2 separate nights. We've only played twice. Now, James is a different story, but me and you have only played twice. So let's not get it confused for the false narrative out here.
But Ross, have you played Dylan?
No, I haven't. I haven't played any of the games right now. I'm super busy as of late.
James had the pleasure of playing my Nets team, and didn't go great. Didn't go great for him. There was a point in that game where I perfect released 10 shots in a row. It was horrendous.
I refuse to play 2K. I feel like it's a broken game.
I'm staying away from 2K. I am staying away from that shit.
We played 2K last night till 2:30 in the morning. Game's still broken.
Yeah, we played and had a good run too. Actually,
we had a good run.
Actually, we had a good.
Where were y'all playing? Y'all doing this?
No, we're playing in the park. We're playing in the theater, which is the same as the park. I usually do pro-am, so it's usually normal basketball and not exploits, because that's all the park is, just fucking people exploiting.
See, my thing is just the thing that's killing me with 2K is just laziness for me. I just don't feel like having to create a fire play and have to do that shit all over again. It's just a grind to me. I just
this is the first fucking story mode in 2K I've ever finished. I just
want to buy a bunch of VC points and just upgrade my character that way.
Already did it. But that's not how you get good at the game, unfortunately, because you need badges. You need to grind your badges, sir.
Yeah. Hit that gym.
Play a bunch of games. My guy's nice.
See it on the computer. But
I know y'all was putting dozens of hours into that shit. Just
I have probably like 40 hours in 2K already. Easily. It's the best.
That's a whole action. That's a whole action adventure game just rounded out.
Yeah, but you can hold X and skip the story. That's what I did. They're over here complaining about the girlfriend of the story. Never heard the fucking lady talk once. Never heard her talk once. Just let me progress the story, get my VC so I can play basketball in my basketball game.
My thing is the thing that's gonna make me just like lose my mind is if I like try to shoot perfectly and it doesn't go in.
You have to. You literally can't make a jump shot unless it's a perfect release.
It's ridiculous.
That's the one thing I wish they would fix.
Because I got robbed a couple times last night.
Mike is the first person to go 2 for 6. Yeah, Mike. But Mike he only makes shots with the end of the shot clock or of the game.
I hit Clutch Gene.
He was screaming Clutch Gene last night. It was crazy. He was like fucking 2 for 9, but he was screaming Clutch Gene.
I was having a horrendous game, but we needed a game-winning shot, and I hit it.
So were y'all playing together?
Yeah, it was me, Mike, and James.
Oh, okay.
And James in the center, I'm the power forward, and Mike's a guard. And meanwhile, me and James are just getting rotated on, so we gotta pass Mike the ball. It's like we have to.
I slipped right behind James in a little. He kind of picked the guy off because he doubled James and ignored me because my guy's trash. James passed me the ball. Switch. Game over.
And this is the story mode, or is this just
this is just us playing.
No, this is just us playing. I instantly started yelling and screaming.
Clutch Gene.
Dylan was like, "What are you yelling at?"
But the game's to 15. I have like 7, 8, 4, 2, 1.
Doesn't matter.
Has 4 points. Shooting 30% from the field.
I hit that clutch shot. That's all I know. That's all I know. I hit that game winner.
Get your Bob Oreo on, Mike. That's it.
That's all that matters.
Big shot Bob on.
I'm just like, all right, Mike. And then every other time I pass to Mike, I'm like, all right, Mike, wide open. Go ahead. Hit that shit. Bang. In and out. Air ball.
I was so. They made me airball a wide open. I didn't green it, but I did everything but green it.
It was it was perfect. It was damn near perfect.
And he airballed it. I was like,
passing me shot. I'm just like, there you go, Mike. There you go. And then it just completely just bounces right to the floor. I'm like, what the fuck, Mike?
What is happening here? But I did get better. I got a little bit better. And like I said, one thing you will not hear Dylan complain about is my defense. I pride myself on that end of the floor.
He was happy. Mike got a lot of fouls called on him.
But Dylan, did I get dropped off at any point last night? Not once. Not even at 99. He was the closest you got to it.
There was that short dude we were playing who was just fucking you up.
He was
fucking you up.
He was just fast.
James, get in here so we can talk about how that one dude was fucking eating Mike up last night.
Just fast as hell last night. Do we have our correspondent? He was the third man on this.
We played one game last night where this one dude, some dude made a shooting guard that just looked like Myles Garrett, and he just ran in circles. And I'm a fucking power forward, and I was just running, just sprinting. This dude was so fast. I'm like, I can't do anything. I was like, I'm on skates, and he was just jaying me up. I'm like, okay, but for Mike to sit here and just blatantly lie that he didn't get dropped off when the homeboy was fucking him up.
We must have played 10 games. No, because I only had 2. And I ended up with 14, 15. So we played about 13 games. We got a good run.
We played a good amount of games, but that short dude we played was fucking you up.
That was rough. That was a rough round.
Mike likes to do this thing, right, where he buys 2K. Dylan's gotta laugh because I said this last night. Mike likes to buy 2K early download, early release, whatever. The $100 version and everything, and just won't play my player. And then he'll also just automatically just cap his guy out at 84 and then completely stop playing and just play my team. And then I'd be like, Mike, how'd you buy the game before me? And you're only at 85, and it's like 5 months ago. You just had the game because he just won't play.
I just play my team. That's all I do.
My team.
Just my team. Now, if you want the smoke in my team, you can catch it. But my player,
the game mode that's broken.
Yeah. Which I'm also glad that I've been playing my player because that would have pissed me off. But yeah, I mean, we have our things. Terrible. But since we have our correspondent here, let's move on to our next quick topic. NBA Media Day was basically the last few days.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful time.
It was nice to see some of the guys. We got some interesting sound bites around the league. We got to see Jimmy Butler's hair. I don't know what's going on.
Oh God.
Know what's going on there.
No
we saw a miracle. We saw he clearly is God because I don't know if y'all saw, but LeBron grew all his hair back. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I'm about to say that.
But all his hair was back magically.
LeBron's about to average 40.
My favorite soundbite is, "You got the Kobe, so you must be good." I was like, it's good to have him back. Man. It's good to have him back, man. But I was just like, I missed hearing him talk. Like, so I was like, still like, why is he? I'm like, why are you like this? I was really asking myself, like, why are you like this?
Kawhi is an android. He's literally an android. That's what he is. Like,
yeah, but on a more sad tone, what's going on with Lonzo Ball's knee, man? What's going on with that?
Yeah, it's he can't run pain free.
He can't even do daily activities.
Yeah, he said that he ramps up, he gets warm, and he's about to play and start practicing, and then it hurts. So it's
Did he just have his second procedure already, or is he going to have it?
He's going to have it very soon. Oh. And I just think that, it's unfortunate. Like it happens sometimes with people where I think it could be once they go in, it could be like the surgery wasn't the best. It could be the scar tissue is like too much. It could be a bunch of reasons, but like hopefully Lonzo gets back. I never had a problem. But that Bulls team was fun, man. That Bulls team was real fun.
I was hyping that Bulls team up. I was on the train.
Lonzo. Lonzo gives him great size, like all throughout the lineup. But this has Brandon Roy vibes. This has Brandon Roy vibes.
I'm afraid. I don't want to say that M word, but I'm starting to get afraid that we might hear that M word associated with Brandon Roy.
This is not a typical knee injury. It's not a typical knee injury. This is sounding very chronic. It's giving very chronic vibes. It's not looking good. 24 years old, you're having these type of – because Stoudemire, he was having these issues, but he was like late 20s. Didn't have it until he was like late 20s. Like,
well, I'm talking about is that damn microfracture. That's the word I don't want to hear.
Anytime you hear the word micro,
it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we heard about a micro, that surgery.
But I don't know if we're flirting with it. I really hope we don't, because like I said, even though they're literally my favorite team, the Knicks' most bitter rival, I really liked watching that Bulls team play, and I really thought they had something. And
shout out to DeMar DeRozan, man. Maybe Caruso coming back is going to be good for them too. He's not the playmaker Lonzo.
My man Caruso.
If you ask me, it was we lost the heart and soul of our defense when he left, unfortunately. But I mean,
you got Patrick Beverley now. You got Pat.
Who am I, right?
And him and Russell Westbrook are best friends.
Oh, they're besties.
I think that shit is an act, man.
Cap.
I think that shit
cap.
It's 1,000% cap. Like
this is about to be one of the worst. This has the chance to be one of the worst backfields, the worst combo, the worst guard rotation we've had in a long time. Like I can see it can either be like Russ is just amazing, and then Pat just comes off the bench.
Heard
if Pat is starting and Russ is coming off the bench, this is going to be terrible.
One more
I
month.
heard there's a potential lineup that they want to throw out where it's Westbrook, Schroeder, Beverly, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And I was crying laughing when I saw that, where Beverly would be the small forward.
I mean, I get going small, but that's awful. That's like
ran off.
You go immediately from like 6'3".
You imagine them putting that lineup on the floor against the Warriors? What the Warriors would do to that lineup, or what Philly or Milwaukee would do, or Miami, even teams with size,
Minnesota
would do to that lineup? Oh my goodness! That I give him. I refuse to believe that. Just like I refuse to believe that Russell Westbrook is not the starter of that team until he completely falls off the cliff. Like, he would have to completely fall off the cliff for Patrick Beverly to think about being better than Russell Westbrook. And I don't think we're at that point.
I get a chance to see Kendrick Nunn again, so that's awesome. I get a chance to actually see him.
I forgot he's not a dead person.
Yeah,
he's not dead anymore.
He's back.
He's not a ghost.
He's the
shooter. Another shooter. Malik Monk.
No, Rod, he's the shooter on the team.
The shooter.
He's the shooter on the team.
Ridiculous.
So did you guys see DeAndre Ayton's press conference?
Love it.
Yo, you loved it? Yo, that's
got it. Big energy. Yo, he said, I haven't spoken to Monty since Game 7. What's good? He said, I haven't spoken to Monty since Game 7.
Do you care? Are you good? Yeah, all right. Like,
I'm good. Yeah.
Man,
how'd you feel about the Suns matching your offer? I was happy.
Yeah. Big energy.
It felt weird.
There's a reason Jay Crowder's like forcing his way out right
Jay
now.
Crowder's getting traded.
Not showing up.
I think Phoenix has to. This
Phoenix is imploding.
Yeah, this could be scary season for Phoenix.
It's very eerie energy right now. Like,
who's trading for him? Like, do we
nobody
know where he's traded? I don't know.
There's a few teams. I can see him going to a few teams.
Take that contract. I think
the Nuggets.
Crowder,
as much as somebody over here does not like DeAndre Ayton at all and thinks he's a product of Chris Paul, I think there's a few teams that would take that contract. And
DeAndre Ayton can't get traded until like January 1st.
So All-Star break.
Yeah, so
there's still plenty of basketball.
Crowder will.
Crowder will be gone by time. He'll be gone by Halloween.
He'll be gone the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think I would love to see Crowder in Dallas. I would love to see Crowder in the Nuggets.
I see Crowder going east.
I can see Crowder in the East.
Philly, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Miami.
I can see him on Miami. I could really see him on Miami.
5 Boston. Throw Boston in there.
I don't think he fits them anymore.
On the bench? I do.
I don't know how he gets.
He's a 3 and D guy.
He gets
3 guy off the bench. Absolutely, especially because they don't have Gallinari.
Yeah,
he can go on the Hawks too. He
could go on the Hawks. They got a lot of guys that do what he.
Rotate.
Everyone needs a 3 and D guy in the league.
Everyone needs a 3 and D guy. I think
everyone needs a 3 and D guy.
Philly, Miami, and
the Lakers would be dumb if they didn't like poke the bear
kick
on that.
Kick
the tires on it and try to see what they can do. That would be tremendous.
Defense and toughness. They just need defensive toughness. That's what the Lakers need. A shooter.
You would just have to apologize to LeBron for making fun of him dancing in the playoff rounds that one time.
I mean, listen, if Russ got to deal with Pat Bev, LeBron got to deal with Jay Crowder.
Oh yeah, but no, I can. Crowder will be gone 3 weeks. I hope they just don't ship him out somewhere.
I know he would never come back, but I would love to trade Russ for somebody like a Lou Dort or something like that. Like one of those type of guys who like play excellent defense. Also,
be prepared to give up 2 first-rounders.
But that's going to cost the 2 first-rounders. And
the Laker tax.
At this point, there's no point in that. So I mean,
Jeannie
Russ
Jeannie has clearly said hell no to anything with multiple first-round picks.
I mean, if they get rid of those 2 first-round picks, they don't have a first-round pick till 2030.
And that's why I completely agree with her. Hell no.
Can't do it.
Like, no.
You can't do it. It's different now because of the Lakers situation, but you can't do it. You have to.
I
You
I
have
agree.
to say no.
We'll bite the bullet, and just hope that street clothes stays healthy.
Hope street clothes stay healthy and that LeBron just keeps finding the fountain of youth and can just play for like 60 games.
It's crazy.
Oh man. So Ross, what are your realistic expectations for the Lakers?
Would love the Lakers to sneak in and get a playoff berth. Would love it. That's my hope. I think as a roster's constructed, I don't know how you can see them. You could even look at them and say they could win the division. I mean, everything would have to fall immediately in place, and you'd be crazy to think that Anthony Davis and LeBron are going to miss time. And at any point that they both missing time, you've seen what happens to the team. Like the good thing is that Schroeder can shoot. If he's anything like the Schroeder that was on the Lakers before he left, I mean, he's enough firepower to offset some of the loss of points that may have come. But the Lakers just don't have the firepower without Russell Westbrook being who he was, you know what I'm saying, on the Wizards and on OKC. If Russell Westbrook shows any of that, if there's any of that left in him, which right now it seems like there's none of that, but if there's any of the OKC Russ that's in there, the Lakers will make some surprising noise because all LeBron needs is someone to pretty much facilitate and get out of the way. He needs shooters, but we also can't disregard the fact that he also had guys that could dish the ball out as well too, right? When Mario was in Miami, yeah, he could shoot, but he also had his nights where he was, between 5 and 8 assists. Same thing for Kyrie. Wherever he was, even Rondo had his time where he was averaging close to double digits or between 5 and 8. You need to have somebody to facilitate the ball. I don't like LeBron keep bringing up the ball. I hate that. They have to stop him from doing that because I think it could stop him from having the turnovers that he has. If you have him in the half court, it's perfect, right? He turns on the half court, whatever. But if you can bring it up and then you can allow him to operate in the half court, very few people that can stop him, from being able to get to the rim and do the other things like that. Darvin Ham, if he can, it's defense. The Lakers' weakness is defense and shooters. If he can somehow unlock that, well, then the Lakers have a chance, like everyone else, to win the division, to win more than they did last year. But realistically, I'm hoping we sneak in. I think that's a fair thing. We could sneak in into at least be one of the top 8 in the West. I think with the talent we can do that. We'll see, though. Jamal Murray's coming back. Porter's coming back. Everyone's getting a little bit better. OKC, that Chet thing was rough. I know,
New Orleans will be around because Zion lost 400 pounds.
New Orleans
looks incredible.
New Orleans will be a force. That's my dark horse team, actually, to win that division.
Zion is in crazy shape.
Their collection of talent is pretty filthy. If you look at it from their starting 5, that's a crazy starting 5.
It really is.
It's am I not bugging? Is it not Rudy? Is Rudy on that team? Right?
Gobert?
No, Rudy's not on that team.
Rudy's in Minnesota.
Rudy's got Minnesota. Also, Minnesota is what I was thinking of as well too. Minnesota has a pretty nasty three-headed monster too.
No, but you get CJ, BI, and Zion.
Yeah, CJ,
with
BI, and
Zion with Steven Adams.
With Steven Adams, with also the kid who can shoot the freaking lights out. The kid, the rookie I think he was a rookie last year. I forgot his name, but
Herbert, I think.
Killing it in the playoffs.
Jones.
Yeah, Herb. Yeah. And then you also have the other rookie who was
Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, Jose Alvarado. That dude's a dog.
He's a dog. He's gonna get exposed.
Oh, Mike doesn't like him.
I don't know. I don't think outside of just coming up, bringing up the ball up the court, he's going to even be needed when you have Zion and Bi and CJ.
Zion's going to average like 24 on 77, like true shooting percentage.
Like some
ridiculous,
ungodly number.
He's going to have this crazy number because nobody's going to be strong enough to stop him. The only other guy who's strong enough to stop him is over in Memphis, and Steven Adams. Like, can't do it.
I mean, you know, the West got pretty good, and the
whole NFL, the whole NBA.
The West. I think the guys who are already in the playoffs just got healthier.
Yeah,
that's really it. Because I don't think anybody particularly got better.
But by better, I mean like the teams got better because
the teams that were already in the playoffs.
Yes,
got better.
The guys
like the Eastern Conference, the teams got better. There's a 14 pool teams of guys who can win like 40 games.
But I would also say that if you put the top 4 in the East against the top 4 in the West, I think it's pretty even almost talent-wise.
Yes, talent-wise, yes. But the East, I think it's deeper in the sense of that, again, there's like the whole Eastern Conference outside of like Detroit, Orlando, Indy, Charlotte can maybe squeak in too here though. Charlotte's like 5 wins away from being in that 40-win club, which isn't far. But like there's outside of like 4 teams, that whole Eastern Conference can be like right at 40 wins.
What about the West?
Cleveland's going to be sick.
Cleveland's
going to be sick.
There's been so much drama going around the NBA and so many like slight moves and stuff like that that I don't even know what to look forward to this season. I'm so like in disarray. I don't know what to feel about this season. I don't know if I'm excited or if I'm just jaded. I don't know what to feel about this upcoming season. But I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot that has gone on, and I just want to see what's to come of it. I don't know what's to come of that Cleveland situation. I don't know what's to come of that Utah situation. I don't know what's to come of the Lakers. I don't know what's to come of just simple things like Portland. I don't know what to feel.
Yeah, I think you swap Portland with Utah in the playoffs.
I don't know how to healthy anything this season. I'm just like, all right. This NBA, like this offseason has been like such like a cluster.
Been a roller coaster.
Yeah, so I'm like my emotions just like shit. All right, here we
30
are.
days.
Be excited.
Here we are.
I'm excited.
I'm over the moon.
You got a month to think about it.
I'm excited because I got a lot of answers for my media day.
Fireworks.
I got a lot of answers for my media day. I did.
Here we go.
I did.
Yeah, go on, Dylan. Let's get your
what did you get? It sounded like last year, and it sounded like the year before. It sounded like the same season.
What are we talking about?
The Nets press conference literally sounded like the year before press conference.
I don't think Kyrie
really
will be there. I don't think he cares.
You're wrong.
I don't think he cares.
You're wrong.
I heard his press conference. I don't think he cares. I think he's saying, like I didn't want to get vaccinated. I left 100 million here. They said something to me to make me not want to just like request a trade. But he also could have still taken their money. He didn't do that. He decided to just do the 1-year deal, and I think he bails after this season. To be quite honest.
Yeah, I would take that bet. Kevin Durant is where I got answers from, because Kevin Durant could have easily handled this in the way Kevin Durant handles things and just been like, I just want to talk hoop. I don't want to talk about shit. And he actually went out there and like elaborated onto his trade. You didn't think he elaborated on his trade request?
How? By
From
saying
what I heard,
really?
I'm happy about the situation because they thought they didn't just let me walk.
Yeah.
So we're not. We didn't listen to the whole thing.
I listened to the whole thing. KD sounded like an angry child. He sounded
about how he felt like going into last offseason, when he signed the extension, he was of the belief that the organization was going to roll with this group of players, and everything hit the fan as far as availability and people getting traded. And then when he got hurt, he felt like the team wasn't being held accountable to play basketball for what they're doing on the court. because when he got hurt, they were first place in the Eastern Conference. They lost 10 straight immediately. And he was like, I don't feel like the coaching staff held the players accountable, and the players weren't holding themselves accountable. So it felt like the direction of the team wasn't where we all once were. When I came back, it didn't seem the same way either, where the organization seemed like they were going one way and the players were seeing like they were going another, where it's like nobody was on the same page.
I bet money.
To me, Dylan,
I bet you that Kyrie Irving's not in that after next year.
I would bet you anything, honestly.
He's not going to be in that.
Because I watched KD's entire thing, Dylan, and what I got from that was he's mad that they didn't trade him. He's mad at Kyrie. He don't want to say it, but he's mad at Kyrie. And he's just like, it's whatever. I'm just going to
see. We're interpreting this two completely different ways.
I took a lot of that as he was still pissed off with Kyrie. Even when they asked him if he is the liaison between Kyrie and the front office, that's that man's business.
I think we're taking we absolutely took this in two different ways, because I don't see him and the Kyrie thing at all.
All I wanted. So
he kept saying that man, like we don't know who he's talking about. Like he did not refer to Kyrie by name, yet we all know who he was talking about. He was talking about Kyrie for most of it. So like, to me,
I didn't get that at all from him.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe we watched two different things.
No, we definitely watched the same thing, but I didn't like that, interpreting it completely differently.
That body language that KD gave me, I didn't like. If I'm a Nets fan,
like, you're a Nets fan, Dylan. Like, what line should you take at this point? I expect you to take this line and take the whole like Hope Springs Eternal thing, because what is the alternative?
Well, no, so I could very much so be like the Jet fan in me and say blow it all up.
But you can't say blow it all up, because
I can.
That means, but no, because what does blow it all up mean for the Nets right now? That means you're admitting that this whole thing was a failure.
Well, Roz, I don't know if you know this or not. Like, at the end of the day, like if that were to happen, it were to happen, and there's a world very much so where you do blow it all up.
But the thing about it is like, you guys had a chance to blow it all up, and again, this is another half measure. I'm telling you, like, Kyrie's not going to be there next year. He's not going to be there next year.
I don't even know what.
And he's not going to be there next year. I would go as far as saying that it'll get to the point, barring a championship, where if they don't win it this year, they're going to not even want to play with each other. So it's either one or the other.
That's what I got from it.
I didn't get that at all.
No. I'm not saying that that's what they said, right?
No, I'm not saying
that is what's to come. If they don't win the championship this year, that means that they've pretty much gone almost a full 4 years of the contract initially signed, and they've won nothing, right? And I think it takes a toll over time, and it compounded everything that's happened. I think they look at each other at the end and they say, yo, bro, we tried. No hard feelings. You go your way.
Pull out early.
I go my way. And I think the Nets lost out on their opportunity.
I think they pull out early, yeah.
Their only shot with this is if the Nets are awful. I don't think the Nets will be awful, though. And that's why I think the Nets lost out on their opportunity, because those guys are hoopers. They're going to hoop. But what's going to happen is they're going to go win the playoffs. They're not going to win a championship. The moment they don't win the championship, they're not going to be together anymore. Whether Kyrie goes to the Lakers or not is not even the issue. It's we can't. This hasn't worked.
The writing on the
well too many times.
The writing on the wall for me was this offseason. I play with you all the time about how I felt like you guys we're gonna start the season with nobody for the Nets, right, Dylan? But I feel like the writing on the wall was definitely like, what was the jack move? What was the rules for it? Like, they just made this big hoopla of a thing, and all Kevin Durant has to say about it is that I'm happy that they saw value in by not letting me go. It's like, why did you?
That's not all he said.
No, I'm sticking to that soundbite for a reason, because it's like, why? What was the point of making this huge hoopla of a thing, saying that I want to trade? It's either me or coaching and ownership and stuff like that. Like, why make this whole big of a thing and then plan on staying and then making this a very even more toxic environment. It's like if you don't already have the idea of saying, you know what, we know that eventually we're just gonna like blow this thing.
I think it goes back to what I've been saying since this whole thing started. I've been very consistent on my stance on this since it started. Whether nobody believes it or not, it goes back to Roz pretty much guaranteeing that neither one of these guys are going to be on the team once the season starts, and here we are, right? And I think it goes back to this is very much so a ploy to try to hold these guys accountable and to make the moves that he wants. I don't think it was very much so a power play in a sense, but it was a, hey, get your shit together or I'm gone. Because I very much so felt that the organization was like in this weird spot last year, especially going into the playoffs.
No moves were made. This was done over the offseason, and no moves were made. Nothing.
None.
Like, nothing has been
No
changed.
moves were made at all.
None.
What
None.
has changed
Zero.
for what he's what has changed for what he's actually been requested over the offseason? Nash is still the coach. Cy is still here.
Yeah.
Well, Cy's the owner. Cy's not going to sell.
I'm saying, but Marks is still the GM. Kyrie's still on the team.
The team is
Simmons
the same.
is still on the team. The team is still the same. This all happened in the offseason.
The team is not the same. The team is not the same.
But for what he asked for, right?
We don't even know what he really asked for.
So you don't think
That's
he really went and told Cy it's Marks and Nash or him? You don't think that was true?
I've never said that wasn't true.
So
I just don't know what the end game was for that move. I don't know what the end game is for that.
But if we were to go off the fact that was true, then he's accomplished nothing in that action, and we don't know why he did that.
No, we don't know. We don't know anything. Anyway. But then we're sitting here speculating on what may or may not be a reason or anything like that. Where it's all, from what I understand, it was about organizational moves as far as like the assistant coaches all being let go, without being consulted really at all. The front office positions all like being up in the flux and completely changing, and nobody really knowing why was happening. Kyrie Irving not just being given his contract the way he should have just been given. It didn't seem like the organization was committed to like keeping things going and going in a certain direction. And that's what the major thing was. Like, what are we doing? I committed for 4 years to not be a part of a rebuild. I committed to 4 years to compete and play basketball competitively. And if you're going to move on from coaching staff, move on from front office people, and not extend the important guys or keep the guys who are supposed to be here on the team, which stems from, hey, the group that we had last year, the James Hardens, the Kyrie Irvings, all those guys, we were all supposed to stay together and and we moved on.
But it's weird because
weird.
Because
they're all weird.
The roster's better than it has been since he's been here.
Except for the bigs. We suck at big right now.
No,
I'm not. That's me nitpicking. But Kevin Durant trying to go anywhere else, it doesn't make sense.
But the team is better, I think, overall than when he got here. So it's like it's even weirder now because, like about him complaining about how the roster and how it's constructed, and if he doesn't like Nash, he's still with Nash, right? So I'm thinking like for me,
I still think Nash gets fired halfway through the season.
Well, I think for me, so here's the thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And if Nash is fired, that means the team is bad. And if the team is bad,
not necessarily.
Then I don't know how you fire Steve Nash if the team isn't bad.
Yeah, what's the consensus? What's the reasoning? It has to be only because the team is not performing and they're not performing because they're bad.
I think I think there's a way if the Nets are in a bunch of close games, I feel like there's a way that they're just gonna be like, you know what, we're not performing the way we need to perform, where we should be absolutely running through teams.
So you think they're gonna pull what's that? Cavs coach? They're gonna pull that.
I think they're gonna pull a David Blatt.
I don't think they'll do that because they have more respect for Steve Nash than they did for Blatt because he did nothing for them yet.
But I don't think it would be Marks doing it.
But what I'm saying, like, it's going to take.
I don't know, Dylan, because I don't think that KD is on Cy's good side right now. So for him to turn around and just do what KD said,
side.
I don't know. Like without the team being bad, like
because it's going to be nearly impossible for the team to come out and just be flat.
The Nets are not
unless
going to
they
be
are
bad.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be nearly impossible for the Nets to come out and be flat.
They're not going to be bad.
It would have to be nobody's shooting well. Rotations are bad. Defense is just trash.
I don't think that's enough.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're not going to win a championship, and I think they're just going to part ways. And I think that's what's going to happen.
I feel
but then you lose out on all the value.
A waste of time. This is going to be a waste.
You lose out on the value.
That's where we disagree, because the Nets aren't going to get rid of Durant.
No, they're not going to get rid of him.
And then but Kyrie's not going to go.
He's going.
Kyrie doesn't want to be anywhere else, and that can only be proven by things that Kyrie has said, not what anybody else is saying.
But what has Kyrie done in his career, though?
What has Kyrie done? I don't understand how that impacts whether he wants to stay on the team that he continuously is saying that he wants to play for.
Not to speak for Ryan, but I think what we're saying is Kyrie's had a history of saying one thing and then doing another.
Correct.
So his word is kind of wishy-washy.
Correct.
He could say that, but
he told the lie in Boston. But when it came to Boston, you saw him change his tone throughout the season. That's the difference. Whereas,
but I didn't believe him when he said
that. Nobody did, to be fair. Except for Boston fans, and they're still butthurt about it today. Go see fucking Blackheart. Still butthurt about it. But with the Nets, he's been incredibly consistent with his take and what he's doing. It's not like with Boston as he's far. All I can speak for this season is what has been presented to me from Kyrie's agent and what Kyrie has said, which is Kyrie Irving is prepared to play in Brooklyn going forward with Kevin Durant or without Kevin Durant.
I think Kyrie Irving is in probably the catbird seat. I think with the lifting of the vaccine mandate in New York and him taking this 1-year deal, I think Kyrie Irving realizes that he has a chance to still secure his bag and get a chance to actually choose where he wants to go. And at the beginning of this, there was a lot of pressure for him to go with the Nets. And I feel like the fact that he didn't take that money is very
well. The contract was bullshit.
I mean, but the thing about it is he could have just been like you can't disregard the type of person Kyrie Irving is, and everything that we've seen from him as a player and the actions that he's shown as just the person he is in general in the public. You don't think Kyrie Irving is behind the scenes telling people, yo, these guys they're gonna try to tell me that they're gonna give me a partially guaranteed contract?
Well, so after him getting that contract, I agreed, but at the time I was like, it's stupid for Kyrie to sign that, but it's a great deal for the Nets if he were to sign it, right? But what happens if he signs that contract and then the vaccine mandate comes back?
No, it's not. It's not going to come back.
But what if it does? Because we saw in the last 2 years them lift mask mandates and then put him immediately back once flu season comes up.
Then he's not coming back. Then again,
if that happens, then he's not coming back. But why would he sign that contract if that is a possibility?
But if the Nets offered him a regular contract, he signs it.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of teams that I don't think are going to take the risk on Kyrie.
I doubt it. I don't think a lot of teams. I think that the amount of teams is going to be much lower than people think. I highly doubt that he won't get an offer, though. I think he's going to get a few offers.
If he's going to get offers, it's going to be offers from these teams that are like horrible looking to sell seats.
Yeah, it's only going to be a handful of teams.
Because even Kyrie said, he's like, when it came down to like looking for a trade request, what were the offers like? He was like, there were offers, but there weren't many.
Well, it's different because he'll be a free agent this time, and then they can negotiate, right? So it's different when you're under contract and you're absorbing that, and you have to fall under salary cap rules. Things change in the offseason, and people get moved, and et cetera, et cetera. I think what happens is if they don't win a championship, Kyrie walks. Does he come to the Lakers? I would love it. I don't think so. But I believe that if
you would want that, wouldn't you?
He does. He's been trying to will it into existence and start my misery early.
If Chris Paul can play and and still command like a high salary at his age, and him being, like as far as like with him and Kyrie are both dynamic talents. Kyrie has a championship pedigree. Kyrie's been there. Kyrie's also been Batman, and he can do all these other things like that. Don't be surprised if Kyrie is slotted in one of these places that are either up and coming from this past season that's going to go by, or they give him to, or he goes and signs with the Lakers. I just don't think that all the stuff that we heard is just all just like just smoke. It's just like just smoke and mirrors. I think there's a lot of truth to everything that we heard out of that. You know, like people's careers are on the line in the media. You know what I'm saying? Nationally. And yes, they do get it wrong.
But here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that goes wrong.
They do get it wrong.
They do
get it wrong. But there was a lot of people who do get it right a lot of times that were literally saying, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm doing, right? Like, this is what we're hearing that's going down. And we'll see. But I think the Nets are not going to be trash. But I don't see the Nets winning the championship. But if the Nets win the championship, they're running it back. That's a fact, Jack. They're running it back.
I also think they just run it back regardless. There's no way they don't run it back unless there's just no playoff appearance or a sweep again.
I don't know. We'll see.
And I don't see a sweep.
Well, we've still got time to sit and marinate on this because our NBA preview show is still a few weeks away.
If they keep the roster the way it is, we're going to get swept. We need bigs. Come on, Dwight Howard. Let's go.
But
shout out to the NBA season starting. It's going to be crazy.
I know, 30 days, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, preseason starts by the time we come back next week. I believe preseason will have started in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm gonna treat it like you, Mike. I ain't watching the preseason for the NBA.
I ain't watching. I can care less about preseason.
NFL, sure, I can do that, of course.
No, I can't do that either. I can't care about either one.
I can't do it. But I mean, like, yeah, man, like it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. It's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait.
Land? Where's what?
Where's Melo gonna land?
I'm hearing Boston. I'm hearing Boston or Brooklyn.
Maybe.
Brooklyn has pumped the tires on him because they're looking for somebody who's going to be a more vocal leader, and Melo hasn't been that in the last couple of years. But I'm hearing Boston to replace Gallinari. But with the Ime Udoka shit happening, I don't know what's going to happen.
Gallo had the knee. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I think Boston is going to be the most sense unless he just says, hey, let's run it back in LA. But I'm not sure. But everything I'm seeing is posting is like Boston.
Can I give like a shameless plug right now?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Shout out to the newly AL East champion New York Yankees, man. You know, like, let's go. Happening in real time. And Mike, I understand. I get it. I'm not even going to say nothing. All I'm going to say is, well done, gentlemen. I'm super happy that they were able to do everything that they did it. It's been a long time.
You guys on the show have no idea the fights all season long.
The best part about it is me and Mike get to tag out because now me and Roz are having these same fights about the Jets.
I'm tagging out, and I am thoroughly enjoying watching you and Roz fight about the Jets because
what I will say is the record that the Yankees have against the Baltimore Orioles this year
is why we're where we're at.
It's like the canary in the coal mine, right? It's the Oriole in the coal mine.
Oh my Lord!
The greatest rivalry in sports.
Roz, you have no idea how much I'm rooting for the Orioles to make the playoffs.
Mike, can you stop?
I want them to make the playoffs so bad, just to shut Roz up. Just please, Baltimore. Even because
careful what you ask for, man.
Hey, the Guardians are probably going to wipe the floor with them, but still,
careful what you ask for.
Careful what you.
Mike, I need you to stop putting this bad energy into the fucking world right now.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
Mike,
When
what
the
in
playoffs
what
come,
world
it's a different
do we
spooky
live
season when
in?
the playoffs start.
If the Orioles make the playoffs, we have to face them and they beat us.
We wouldn't have to play them until the ALCS. So in the
I know.
world
So
that you're
what?
saying,
Yes.
that you're telling me that the Baltimore Orioles are going to beat the Houston Astros in a best
because
of 7.
You're putting it into the universe. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You can never say ever with baseball either.
And if that happens, Mike,
I'll never forgive you.
You would join Billy King. It's on site. It's on site.
It's on site.
You and Billy King. I see you walking across
So
the street.
I'm not putting nothing out there. All I'm saying is I'm so happy that the Yankees
had
a winning
You
record.
can never say never with baseball.
Mike's out here
playing
with fate.
Mike is playing with Orioles.
fate.
The Yankees.
Don't let Rod make y'all scared of the Baltimore Orioles.
Mike, stop playing with your food.
Mike loves to be let down. That's why he loves Baltimore Orioles.
I'm sitting here worried. worried about the Yankees playing the Mariners. That's what I'm worried about.
Everyone's afraid of the Mariners.
Mike loves to give these high hopes in these scenarios that he think is just an automatic wash, and then overly let down when something like that happens.
I don't expect the Orioles to make the playoffs, but it would be hilarious.
If they do?
As much shit as Ross talks about the Orioles, for the Orioles to make the playoffs. That would make my day.
All I said was the Orioles. All I said was the Yankees have a winning record against the Orioles, and it just so happens that it's followed by the AL East championship crown that we now wear as an organization. Could be a coincidence.
A coincidence, right? Not the fact that the Yankees were off to a historically great start. Couldn't be that. It's because we beat the Orioles that we're sitting here today.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying, they beat the Orioles during that historic stretch,
those
right?
losses that we had to the putrid Oakland A's a couple weeks ago, that don't matter now, right? That don't mean nothing.
Don't forget the Reds.
That don't mean nothing, right?
To play, those are horrendous. To play devil's advocate, to play devil's advocate about the horrendous Oakland A's. You know who those horrendous Oakland A's were consistently destroying during the season? those big bad Houston Astros. The only team that gave them, the only team that you can look it up, the only team that gave them fits this year really were the Oakland Athletics. Ran them out of Oakland multiple times. But, you know, again, as long as we beat the Orioles, we have a winning record.
As long as we beat the Orioles, all is right in the world.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Seattle beating our brains in a couple of weeks ago, and the fact that we never seem to beat Houston. As long as we beat Baltimore, it's okay.
Seattle's an issue, but guess what? The reason why the magic number went from 7 or 6 just a few days ago to magically 1 in a span of a few days is because the division people, the division teams were beating on each other's brains out, and the Yankees came in and beat the division team
in a row. Because the Yankees won 8 in a row. Maybe that could have something to do with it.
Against who?
Tampa and
and
Toronto now, and we just beat the brakes off of Boston, which did my heart good.
And what do they all have in common?
And Pittsburgh.
And what do the majority of the teams have in common?
Divisional opponents to us.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. You still worried about that Astros game that they got their heads kicked in before?
The most important game of the season.
The most important game of the season?
Yes, I am actually still. It's on my mind still because we're going to have to see them.
Okay, are we AL East champions?
Yes, we are.
Are we AL East champions?
Wait, did you guys clinch it today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are we AL East champions because we lost to the Astros?
Because we lost to the Astros?
Are we AL East champions because we lost to the Astros? No. The answer is no. No. In the grand scheme of things, does that series matter?
Okay, Ross. All right.
But guess what does matter? The 8-game winning streak we went against Boston, Tampa, and Toronto and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's because the division games always mean more when you're trying to win your division. Always. If the Yankees lost every single game against the Houston Astros and destroyed every single team in their division, they would still be AL East champions. Hence why, hashtag beat the Orioles.
The greatest rivalry in sports.
I'm glad you have
Raz versus the Orioles.
Shout out to the New York Junkies for beating the Toronto Blue Jays and winning the AL East championship. Start spreading the news, everybody. Start spreading the news. Wow. Good days, good times rolling.
So what are these playoff here? What? I'm sorry. What's the MLB playoff bracket looking like right now?
It's still very much up in the air, actually.
Still very much okay.
You know what's
the only thing that's settled is that the Dodgers are unbeatable.
Jesus.
And, they I know they clinched the conference, right?
The Cardinals clinched the division tonight.
The Braves tied it up tonight.
The Mets lost to the Marlins.
The Braves tied it up tonight.
But the Mets clinched a playoff spot already, though.
The Mets are in the playoffs, but they haven't clinched the division.
But
do the Astros clinch the conference yet?
Not yet.
No.
The Yankees are on this winning streak. So
you guys can still catch them.
I mean, we can. It's not likely, but we can still catch them.
Mathematically, you can still catch them.
Mathematically, we can still catch them, but they're not going to lose to the Angels.
Can you imagine if the Mets are in a wild card series? I think that would be
wild.
I think that'd be even more wild than them winning the division.
Because them and the Braves are neck and neck right now.
Queens would be on fire. That game is going to be crazy.
Well, you know that the playoff format is different this year.
Yeah, what's the new playoff format again? I keep forgetting.
So it's going to be the top 2 seeds get a bye to the divisional series, and then the number 3 division team plays that third wild card team in a best of 3, and then the 4 and 5.
It's a best of 3.
It's a best of 3 now, and the 4 and 5 play a best of 3, and that best of 3 is only in one ballpark. There's no travel.
Now it's a best.
Only in one ballpark.
Only in one ballpark. You don't get a home game.
So there's not doing that bullshit one game wild card crap anymore.
Nope. I mean, bullshit. Them games was fun.
I hated that shit, man.
That was stress.
No, do you know how much it sucked to win all those? I think there was one team I forgot that like 100 games and lost like the first game.
See the Yankees last year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If Garrett Cole doesn't shit the bed, who knows what could have happened?
So is it a neutral site or is it just like
it'll be in the higher it'll be in the higher seeds ballpark.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough.
Well, you guys should have a first round bye. I mean,
I'm just talking about
we clinched the bye tonight. We clinched the bye.
Oh, okay, you clinched the bye tonight. Okay.
We clinched the bye tonight.
Would it be 3 in Queens if that's the case?
Yes.
Ooh,
it's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely that the Mets, one way or another, don't get home field in that whatever their first round is. Like
if they lose
the Mets would have to lose the rest of their games, and like the Phillies and the Brewers would have to win the rest of their games for the Mets to start on the road. So the Mets are going to be home. It's just a matter of, are they playing a best of 5 or are they playing a best of 3?
If they lose that division, that's terrible.
I mean, it would suck if they lost the division. But the Braves are on fire, and the Braves could win the chip. So let's not act like the Braves are trash. Like,
I mean, Acuna hit 2 home runs, I think, tonight.
Yeah,
some crazy thing like that.
He hit a bomb, and the Phillies lost to the Cubs. So Raz, the Cubs are not in the Phillies division, but that hurt a lot, badly.
If the Phillies would beat the Marlins and the other teams, then it wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
The Brewers have 1 game left against the Cardinals, and then they have 4 against the Marlins. You know how big that 4-game series against the Marlins is for the Brewers? They have to beat them dudes.
I'm just saying though, like, like, it's different though in their particular case because they don't have any more divisional opponents though, right?
And it's a very tight season. It's at the end.
Yeah, it's different.
Are they going to still Are they still going to make the playoffs? They
Who?
still going to be in the dance? The Brewers.
Phillies?
If they win, they still going to be in the dance, right?
I mean, if do they have any more divisional like games?
They have one. They have one game left against the Cardinals tomorrow.
Okay, then I mean, like that's probably more important than the rest of the games if you have them each individually against each other. That has more weight.
Just can't say it's situations dictate. Just can't.
No, it's because
just can't let it go, can you?
We did this already.
All I want you to say is that for the Brewers, this series against the Marlins is the biggest series of the season.
Here we go, Dylan. Here we go.
Why can't we just enjoy? Why can't we just enjoy the Yankees winning the AL East championship?
You see what I'm doing, guys? I'm drawing a circle.
That's all I
because this is all we're doing.
That's all I said.
Doing in circles.
The Astros beat the Diamondbacks.
You guys have clasped hands, and you guys are just taking a stroll. You guys just walking in circles.
Beat the Orioles. That's all I said.
They're in a never-ending roundabout. Neither one is taking the exit. They're just in a roundabout.
We basically just took the Instagram chat and brought it to the pod. That's pretty much what we did.
It's a roundabout. You guys know the roundabout in the beach in West Haven, right by Riptide, by Old Oyster River Tavern. That's what this argument is. This is just a roundabout.
The Yankees are AL East champions.
It's hell, but you guys just keep going in circles.
The Yankees are AL East champions and in the playoffs. That's all that matters. Still can't beat the Astros. I guess we'll cross that bridge for me.
In the time that you guys have constantly talked in circles, I have curled my mustache up like the Monopoly man.
Hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah. So what was it? So in the National League, it's down to the Padres. The Braves are gonna clinch. I mean, it's down to the Phillies, the Padres, and the Brewers. 3 teams, 2 spots. They're separated by 2 games with 9 to go.
Padres are third.
The Padres are right now they have the second wild card.
Yo, man. Free my man 99, man. Pitch to that man.
Word,
yeah.
Free my man 99, man.
I hope with the Yankees clinching that maybe somebody will pitch to him now.
4 walks is crazy.
Nobody wants to be the guy.
He had 5 plate appearances tonight. He went 0 for 1. Like
4 walks. 4 walks.
They walked him 4 times?
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting the Barry Bonds treatment.
Yo, what kind of bullshit is that, yo?
4 walks.
Nobody wants to be the team.
I told Dylan, we were watching it live on our pre-show meeting, and I was like, oh, it looks like Aaron Judge is finally just getting sick of it. He's just swinging at anything. And then they just started not even throwing anything close that he could even take bad swings at, and he still walked. He was 0-2, and he still walked.
Scratching him off tonight. He scratched. That's it.
Yeah, we're not even gonna worry about him. He's just gonna get on base.
Yeah, scratched.
Like I was telling Mike, I was like, we might as well should just be trying to play the Red Sox for the rest of the season because Alex Cora is the only manager with any balls who's going to have his pitchers come and try to throw him something.
They actually kind of threw to him. Some of them
because Alex Cora is going to be like, "Fuck you! Like we hate you. Let's ruin your batting average. Let's ruin everything. Let's take the Triple Crown away from you."
They're trying to get that Triple Crown away from him. So
yeah, let's take the Triple Crown away from you.
But
if you hit the home run, you hit the home run.
That's so fucked up. They're gonna do Judge dirty.
But I said I'd do the same thing.
but there is still light at the end of the tunnel because after they play Toronto, they do play Roz's favorite team, the Orioles, and Judge has historically just murdered the Orioles. So
that's what they pitched him.
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
If they pitch to him,
If they pitch to him, we're talking.
The Orioles are fighting for a playoff spot. So, I mean,
I say just pitch to him, get the home run over with, and then now you can just pitch.
Yeah.
Once he hits, it'll lighten up once he gets it.
Because then he owns it.
But he's getting
61 ties.
Yeah, he needs 62.
Yeah,
61 ties. Nobody's gonna want to pitch 62.
I think he steals one from Toronto. I think if we have any more games,
I would have loved for him to do it against Boston.
I think
they did against Boston.
I wanted him to do it against Boston so bad.
No, but there might be a good chance he does against the Orioles because they have something to play for it. You
know? So there's two records going on, right? It's a Yankees record and it's the league record, right?
Yeah,
it's one of the same
record.
And they're one and the same. It's the same. It's
the clean record.
But he's also going for the Triple Crown, which is
also what he's
just
going for.
unbelievable that he's going for the Triple Crown.
So which ball is more valuable for the home run?
Definitely 62.
Oh, 62.
62 by
62 is the one they're going to try to put in Cooperstown.
Yeah. No, I get that. What I'm saying is 62 is what record again?
The
clean home run record.
Clean home run record. Now, say he gets to 62 and then he gets 3 more this season and gets to 65. Which ball holds more value?
62.
62.
62.
It's the same thing with Lawrence, though. Like, like that one day he broke it is worth
that 71st. That 71 is worth more than that 73.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what's crazy is that if he wins the Triple Crown and breaks the record, it might be the greatest.
Individual season for a hitter.
Individual season for a hitter ever, though. You can make that argument, though. No, I think you can make
for
an
a
argument
power hitter to be leading the league in fucking average as well in every major category. That's not
break
supposed
the
to
actual
happen.
Clean record. That's the greatest. That's the greatest.
It's the greatest season ever.
Well, you know that the baseball nerds will come out. Well, Ted Williams hit 401 in 1987.
On the contrary, Ohtani's WAR at the same time.
Shohei Ohtani not only is batting this much and hit,
who gets no respect, by the way,
he also has 10 wins. He gets
not in this group. I don't hear nobody talking.
Well, the thing is, we have the guy who's actually the MVP. Ohtani's unbelievable, but they don't win games. The Yankees aren't in the situation we're in right now if Aaron Judge isn't playing.
Fuck Ohtani. Ohtani is the Steve Nash to stealing Kobe's MVP. That's why. That's why.
We can't let that happen again.
Yeah, that's why. We can't let that happen.
The problem is they need to create a different thing for Ohtani because nobody else is doing what he's doing.
Don't speak Ohtani's name too much, man, because they're gonna try to find a reason to just throw the monkey.
At this point, if Judge wins the Triple Crown, like I told Dylan last week, at this point, if it's not unanimous, it's insulting. Because
it won't be because baseball writers hate doing unanimous things. They just hate it.
Yeah,
they hate. There's some random guy that's like, "Whoa, Ohtani's doing." But here's the thing: even with advanced metrics,
I think a lot of Angels hate.
Judge's season is still with most advanced metrics better than Ohtani's. Yeah. The thing about Judge's season is it's if he breaks the record and wins the Triple Crown, I think even from advanced metrics, it lets you know it's the greatest offensive season in the history of baseball. It's already top 20. That's guaranteed, right? It's definitely the best walk year you've ever seen in baseball, and you can argue for possibly any of the major sports. What kind of walk year is that? What kind of walk year is that? And to make even it crazier, he's also setting the table for home run record, Triple Crown, World Series, and World Series MVP. Then that's one of the greatest seasons in sports history.
Yeah.
He's able to get the Triple Crown, the home run record, and World Series MVP, and the Yankees win the chip. That man's going to get a $400 million contract.
And he deserves it.
I'd say 500.
No, he'll probably crack half a billy.
Yeah, he'll crack 500.
He'll crack half a billy.
He'll be like, you see Mike Trout's contract? Yeah, let me get
3 times that.
Yeah.
he's gonna be Sports Illustrated Man of the Year. Like
that's almost statue in front of Yankee Stadium.
That
no,
1 year
statue.
is like worth
He's gonna get a
$2
blank check
for him.
That is a blank check.
That is statue. And if the Yankees don't sign him after all of that, the Yankees will literally be ran out of the city.
They will set Yankee Stadium on fire.
They will literally
burn that place to the ground.
They will riot in the stadium like you've never seen before if the man accomplishes everything that we're saying.
I feel bad for whoever would have to replace him.
It would already happen now.
Has to play right field is getting booed every time he comes to play. And
it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, it's already going to happen now if they don't sign him.
You wanted to know who the next captain could be, and he's
right in front of you.
He's in front of you doing it. And for all the terrible albatross contracts, this is the one the Yankees want to die on the hill on. All the albatross contracts they're like, oh my God, we can't possibly give another albatross contract to Aaron Judge. Yeah. But you can give one to Carl Pavano, Kevin Brown. You can give it to people who have
AJ Burnett.
At least AJ won a chip.
At least AJ Burnett was like important on that staff in the series run.
Won a chip. But there's a few other guys. Giambi at his end was terrible.
Giambi's contract turned out to be bad.
A-Rod's
contract was A-Rod's re-up was ungodly.
We're still on
A-Rod. A-Rod's re-up was horrible. Like even the end of Tex was terrible. There's a bunch of contracts where you're just like, geez, man, I can't wait to the Yankees. But like, how long? Jacoby Ellsbury, all these guys, contract,
I think in Yankee history,
all these guys that they have given out these contracts to. This is the time where they want to put their foot in the no more.
I think you answered your own. I think you answered your own question though.
You shall not.
Why now?
You shall not.
You have to start somewhere. Shit.
It'll be the biggest bag fumble of all time.
It'd be the biggest bag fumble. And Anthony, let me be honest with you. Here's why I'm telling you this: because the Yankees will do under Hal. They will let Aaron Judge walk. And then turn around and say, we don't have any star power, and give Gleyber Torres $300 million. And it'll be that's what this is the table. This is why I'm like,
nightmare. I do not want to live.
They can't do this. They can't do this.
And this all could have gone away if they just offered him a decent contract this first time, and now they could have easily saved themselves $200 million.
Did he specifically say he wants to test free agency?
No,
he just wants to get his contract.
He'd be a fool not to test free agency.
If he decided that he was just going to if he after a World Series win, right? Let's say we live in a world where the Yankees just won the World Series. He's celebrating. He stops. He goes to Hal's office and says, "This is my number." And they just say, "Yeah." Then that's the only way that you don't test free agency. It's the only way.
I don't even think even if he could do that, I don't think he would.
I don't think he would either.
Like at this point, like I said, I would even argue even if they don't win a World Series, but definitely if they win a World Series, he's gonna and I'm Aaron Judge, I'm just gonna every time the Yankees come with a number, I'm just gonna say higher. Higher. More. Until literally Hal says,
literally can't.
We literally don't have any money. Like the salary cap starts getting like an issue now, where he's like, I have to pay $100 million over. Even then, I'm like higher, because I honestly think if he wins a World Series and World Series MVP, Steve Cohen is going to
throw everything at him.
Steve Cohen is going to literally he is going to do ungodly things. He's going to be willing to do anything legally in his power as an owner.
Is that the Mets
to
guy?
Give Aaron Judge, yes. To give Aaron Judge that money.
That's a world I don't want.
Literally. That's a world I
That's a
don't
world
want
I
to
don't
live
want
in.
to
Not
live
a
in.
world I want to live in where I have to see Aaron Judge and them ugly
Playing fucking
Nets
Queens.
pinstripes.
Hey, it's still New
That,
York.
that and the Dodgers. If he goes to the Dodgers or the Mets,
Dodgers can afford it too.
Yeah, the Dodgers can afford it.
So can the Yankees. Like
Yes. That's the worst part about this.
The
Is
Dodgers and the Mets. There's 3 teams: Dodgers,
Aaron
Mets,
Judge on the Dodgers. Woo.
the Giants.
Dodgers, Mets, and Boston. He goes to any of those teams.
They're saying the Giants
physically
too.
sick.
Yeah,
physically
because it's from the Bay Area.
He's gonna go he's gonna give us the He's gonna give us. I've been saying this all season. He's gonna give us the home run record, and if we make it to the World Series, and he's gonna get the MVP, we're gonna win a chip, and he's gonna go to Boston. All of that.
Also, like, we didn't sign Mookie, but Aaron, come on over. You love that. You love that short porch of right field. Every time you hit a bouncer over there, it's a double. So come on.
Oh man, Roz, at this point in time, man, all right, we're here. 10-year max deal. You ready for it?
You gotta do
it.
Whatever.
I feel like I have to worry about the postseason and then Aaron Judge, like literally right after. Like,
we've been worried about Aaron Judge immediately. We've been worried about Aaron Judge since the season started.
Now,
right now. At this point, James, who are you sacrificing? Right? Like, what? You're sacrificing Gleyber Torres. You're sacrificing DJ LeMahieu. You're sacrificing Josh Donaldson. You're sacrificing what? Who are you sacrificing?
I'm Roz. Like, DJ can go, and Donaldson can get the hell out. Yeah.
We got guys. Bring up the young guys. That's how the Yankees were built in the '90s. Let's do it.
And we got our shortstop of the future.
Yeah,
hitting the brakes off the ball right now. Oh,
so what? The Yankees are above
DJ can go.
Bringing up some hot shot prospects. Why not empty the coffers? Bring up the.
That's how we got Judge.
You know,
DJ
sometimes
we got our center fielder for the future, and Harrison
Darth Bader.
Yeah, he can.
Darth Bader.
Listen, I love Aaron. He can go.
Yeah,
I don't love him, but he can go.
DJ can go.
Talion can go.
Nah, I don't know, Roz. I think we need Talion. I think we need him.
If it's
Sevy,
Aaron
I
Judge,
love Sevy. Sevy is
if it's Aaron Judge.
Sevy's a dead guy. Sevy's a dead guy.
Sevy's gonna want money.
Sevy's literally a dead guy.
Well, Sevy can get money after that. Who cares? Like, my thing is like,
Sevy's a dead guy. What are we doing here?
Nestor's still in arbitration.
That's Mike's guy right there.
Sevy and Chris Sale are the same person. They're just dead guys.
Sevy is my guy. It's gonna be Sevy season in the playoffs.
Mike has been at Mike,
and then he's gonna be on the IL again.
Mike has had this affinity for injured Sevy since he got to the league.
Sevy's just a dead guy. Like, I don't put any hope into Severino because he's literally just a dead guy. He doesn't play baseball for us. He plays baseball, and then he just doesn't play baseball for months at a time.
He plays 3 games, then he's out 20. He plays 2 games.
He's literally just Chris Sale, except Sevy knows how to ride a bike. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Like, you can't choose any of those guys with Aaron Judge. I don't care if we have to be.
I'm not choosing any of those guys over Aaron Judge, but
I don't care.
I'm saying there's a world where we can have both.
I mean, we could, but you know Hal's not going to do that. This is like the worst case scenario for Hal. This is actually the worst case scenario for Hal. We all celebrating and happy and like, yo, this is crazy what he's doing. Hal's sitting there and he's literally crying into his $100 bills.
He is sweating.
He's literally saying, he's literally like, I really wanted that yacht, and now I have to sit here and I have to just use my old yacht. And, you know, like, because I was going to take all that money I got from Judge hitting all these home runs, and I have to actually pay him. So, like, there goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood. I can't weather this recession like everyone else, you know, even though
This is what it's like being poor.
This is what it's like being poor. Dad never had to deal with this.
I'm going to be eating Spam out of a can for the next month.
He was like, no way, right? I have to, like, it's the sickest thing. It's the sickest thing. And the crazy part is I didn't even know Aaron Judge had this in him. So in the beginning of the season, I was thinking, like, it makes sense. Like, it just makes sense logistically not to give him the biggest contract ever. But you're not thinking that he's going to break Roger Maris's freaking home run
I didn't think
record
he was going to break
and
Roger
win the
Maris's
triple
record.
crown while doing it.
I didn't
There's
think he was
no
going to win a
way.
triple crown.
Me and Mike thought he was going to hit like 270 and just be like, keep it moving.
But
Yeah,
you know
like
who wants to give him
270,
that
50
money?
home runs, maybe at
Me and
best.
James went to give him that money off rip last year. Me and James were both like, give it to him right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Give it
see,
to
that's
him.
different.
Give him whatever he wants.
You give it to him last year, right?
Then we
Because
don't get
that's
what we're
what
getting now.
smart organizations do. But the Yankees always like to say, we're going to give you stuff unless it's completely lopsided to them money-wise. They're gonna always wait you out until your arbitration years are
They
up.
did it to Jeter, they'll do it to Judge.
Do it to Jeter. Like I said, they did it to Jeter. They'll do it to Judge. So there's no difference in that. The only reason why Sevy and Hicks got deals is because it was so below market, right?
Sevy's a dead guy.
We just didn't know that Sevy literally was made out of paper, and we just didn't know that Hicks is probably one of the worst hitters to ever come through Yankee Stadium. We didn't know that. There's no way for them to know that, right? Like, this guy was mashing home runs and, like, single-handedly getting stuff done in Cleveland. You're like, oh, this guy is going to be a serviceable center fielder. Then he just forgets how to swing a bat. It's like the craziest thing. And then
Sevy's like literally sitting in his coffin.
He's literally and Sevy's literally like,
he goes and he tries out coffins to see which one's comfortable because he's a fucking dead guy.
I poured the Gatorade out the cooler, and now my shoulder feels a little weird. And you're like, what? Like, how, bro? Like how is a $10 million a year contract when anyone with his talent is making probably like quadruple that? Not a steal. Only Severino. It's not a steal. It's not like he's making like 10 mil. Like,
deceased human.
It's just crazy, son. It's just,
dead guy.
It's just crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. We're on for the ride. First things first. We got that crown, and we're gonna party and celebrate that tonight. And now we just got to get guys healthy. Everyone sits. All the young guys play.
Except for Judge.
Play. Except for Judge, of course. But Peraza plays, Cabrera plays, Hader plays. Like, really get these guys, see what you have in them. Super utility kind of guys. See what the bullpen's up to. Get the starting pitching right. Don't rest Cole. He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde definitely doesn't deserve it. Nestor probably deserves it. Definitely deserve it.
Well, that's why Nestor went on the IL a little while ago. It's just so he didn't pass his pitch count.
I think you don't even pitch Nestor unless it's like weird, long relief things or like whatever.
Nestor.
Sevy, you have to get him right so he pitches. Tyone, I think you shouldn't pitch him, but you probably will. Jamo's been the hero in the past like 10, 15 games. He's been the hero. He's been the ace that, he's been every bit of a number two as you can expect in his last like 15 to 20 games. And it was shocking. It's still shocking to see what he did tonight too. Almost going full, a whole like 9 innings, getting very close. He's also playing for a contract.
Ross, so. I think Chapman's out of here, man.
Good.
Deservedly
good. So. Good. That fucking piece of shit. Chapman's the fucking worst. Everything. My relationship with Chapman is literally, I feel like every time I watch him pitch, he's either throwing a splitter into the dirt or it's a fucking home run to center field. It's the worst.
You guys have heard me screaming from the mountaintop, and I know Mike.
I've been there with you. I've been with you.
To believe in this man, believe in nothing.
Fuck
nothing.
Listen,
let him be good until we win the World Series, but he has been absolute dog shit. He's been terrible. I've literally seen him be up 3 runs in the 9th inning, walk 3 consecutive batters.
I seen it.
Give up a single and then give up a double and then lose the game. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in person from a reliever.
The worst thing was watching the Orioles game earlier, or the third season of the series of the season, where Chapman walked the winning run, and Roz is sitting there having a brain aneurysm because it's his two most hated things of all time happening: Chapman sucking against the Orioles.
It's just crazy. It's like he's literally another guy who's just like
sucks.
He's just
he's not
okay.
a bad guy. He just sucks.
He's just terrible right now, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna go to another low impact team or a team that's not that great, and he's gonna get his mojo back, and that's fine. Like
it just sucks because we have the two pitchers who seem to be most affected by spider tack being just taken away
on
from
the same team on the
same team because right before spider tack went away last year, Chapman was just literally striking out everybody. And Garrett Cole was unbelievable.
Garrett Cole was literally
unhittable.
Perfect pitching free agency in a long time he got. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, no more spider attack. And all of a sudden he's just like, I don't know why I give up home runs. I have no idea. Like he starts attacking umpires, just doing weird stuff like he's never done. Like he's like, God damn it, Brian! Like, what's going on? And I'm just like, all right, like you can yell at Brian, but at the same time, like that was an absolutely shit pitch that you threw to that guy that led to the home run. Like, okay, he missed a call. Does that mean you have to throw a fastball right down the plate? No, it does not. Right? No one's fault was you giving up like 5 and 6 home runs in the Cleveland game. That was the worst game I've probably ever seen him pitch. It was unbelievable.
You never know what you're getting from him.
It's unbelievable.
Never know what you're getting from him. I have zero confidence in him in the playoffs.
Let me just say that I'm glad you guys have come on the I hate Cole train.
I've been on this train.
I've been on this train.
I've been driving this train since they've signed him.
Not since they signed him.
No, I've been on one spider tack went away.
No, I wasn't on the train. I'm saying I wasn't on the train since they signed him because they had spider tack. Yeah, he had all the.
Oh, he was great.
Like, he was awesome. He was like, yeah, I think like he's in that Gidry.
Literally, it was like the first game they take away spider tack. He just like gets shellacked. And I'm just like, oh boy, this is a problem.
I just hate how he looks up at like as if it's just like I don't understand how I'm giving up home runs.
He's like a Muppet.
You look at
he's literally a Muppet.
An awful pitch. It's like they're not hitting it, Garrett, from like their shoelaces. They're not hitting it like at their eyes. You're literally throwing it down the middle of the plate. Like it's like, how did this happen? It's like you threw a terrible pitch. Like
give me Nestor in all the important games.
Like
give me nasty Nestor in all the important games because Garrett Cole can go fuck himself.
Of course, we get the worst version of Garrett Cole. Like, of course,
I think we have the worst ace when it comes to like starting pitchers. Like, we have the worst caliber ace we could possibly think of.
I literally like see him toe the line, and I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it's like he goes like, oh man, Garrett Cole is really mowing him down. He's like 10 strikeouts in like 6 innings, and all of a sudden he gives up 4 consecutive bombs. I'm just like, and the score is like 4-2.
Just don't understand how this is happening.
What's the point? I'm just like, Boone, just take him out right now. But it's like the worst time you would ever take out a starter, but it's Garrett Cole.
I mean, hasn't Garrett Cole been pulled in the first inning?
Yeah.
That Cleveland
this
game,
year, yeah.
That Cleveland game was the worst. I watched that Cleveland game, and I was like, I'm not going to subject myself to this anymore. I'm just seeing people just launching. It's not even like they're like hitting, like they are launching like 440, 434, like
just sending
bombs. Like bombs. And I'm like, he's giving up like 5 of them. And I'm like, what? I'm like, so yeah, and just like we're just gonna just say fuck it, no adjustment. I'm just gonna just keep pumping out my fastballs, and I'm just gonna sit here and be like, I don't know, guys. It just happens. I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. Like, who cares? It's house money.
Well, we are up against the clock. We were going to introduce a new segment. I mean, I could run through it real quick. It's been inspired by Dylan's new favorite Jet.
G-Dub.
But it will not be him. But the segment is called I'm Him. So who's I'm him for the week? Who's I'm him for the week? Like I said, it won't be that guy.
It's still him. He's him. It's him. He's him.
It's absolutely not him. But Dylan, who's your I'm him for the week?
I'm him of the week. Let's go with one LJ Lamar Jackson. Because he is indeed him. He is very much so indeed him, because he had that Patriots team fucking confused. They look like they never seen the likes of him before. And that Patriots team is usually a team that plays Baltimore really well. Lamar just ate them up.
Ate them alive.
Fuck you, McCorkle.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Pay Lamar.
James, who's
him?
I'm him. Who's him for the week?
I don't
Michael Beasley.
That clip would never get old.
Never.
Those drugs were strong that day. That was that purest booger sugar right there. But I keep on. I mean, it's a thing in the NFL. I don't watch the NFL, but I see these clips nonstop of all these players that just are screaming, "I'm him" after a play.
Well, it doesn't have to be a football guy. You can pick
whoever you want.
Anybody. Sports, music.
Just don't say Brett Favre.
He's lucky we're out of time, because
he's very lucky we're out of time. We'll get his ass next week.
I don't know, man. I guess I want to be controversial. The I'm him guy, Ime Udoka.
Oh, damn.
I don't even know if he's going to elaborate on that. I'm just going to
move on. Yeah, he's him. He's him this week. Roz, who's him this week? who's him this week?
I'll take the low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to go with Aaron James Judge. I'm going to say Mr. Aaron James Judge, as he continues to hold the Triple Crown edge right now. Still holds it currently, looking to tie to the clean home run record. And, the whole world's watching, man. The whole world's watching. So he's him for real right now, like legitimate.
Bitch, I'm him. Quit playing.
Anthony, who's him this week?
I'd probably say my I'm him is Nick Chubb, because he's the one consistent producer on my fantasy team.
Nick Chubb was that bag too, though. Nick Chubb.
He gave me another good outing. 113 rushing yards, touchdown. Another really solid game on the ground. Like I said, I know I'm going to get something from Chubb every single week. So that's my I'm him.
I almost said a very bad joke that had to do with yours and James's.
I was hoping he was going to break the record, so this would be a very easy I'm him. I'm going to go with Aaron Judge also, only because they're scared to death to pitch to him. So, and he still, regardless, he still smacked a few doubles and he still did his thing. So, my inaugural I'm him will be Aaron Judge this week.
On base percentage up through the roof now. They keep doing that. It's gonna be crazy.
So yeah, but let's that is it for tonight. We're gonna wrap this up with our goodbyes. Anthony,
Wait. Can I give a special shout out?
Yeah.
Special
You can
shout
go
out.
first if you want, Raz.
Yeah,
I know you
special
gotta
shout
go.
out.
You're up against the clock.
I know we did. I know we are against the clock and it's I am him situation. Special shout out to one of the goats, Roger Federer, definitely retiring soon. Want to definitely, if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, I definitely would have picked him behind him. So shout out Roger. You know, like it's always dope to see some of the greats in sports. You know, like get honored and take that farewell tour. Thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate you. Season 2, Mr. Facts and Stats. We back. I'm back. We want to make this a great one. Really happy to see everybody. Really happy to have you tune in and listen to all of our antics and everything that we're going through. We got a lot situated and set up for you this upcoming season. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. So tune in for some more later on. Peace.
Anthony.
All right. Another week, another extremely long pod, but we were happy to do every single minute of it. Thank you guys at home. Follow us on all the major platforms. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Fuck you, Kelsey Plum, for not responding to my DMs. But yes, we love all y'all, and we'll be back next week.
Okay, Breezy, you are up.
Oh my God! Good job, Anthony. Honorable mention for the I am him segment. Albert Pujols, he should definitely.
Yes.
I am him.
Oh yes, Albert Pujols.
The machine.
De lo mío.
Yeah. Well, they should let him pitch some more. That'll be good. Like that was great, man. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, follow me on the socials. On Twitter. That's Breezy5X on Twitter, and on Instagram is Breezy _
Here you go.
BILZ. Yeah, I'm fumbling and stumbling all over the place. But yeah, season 2, man. Let's get it.
The mad producer.
_podcast Poppy _ on all social media platforms. My honorable mention from him is Garrett Wilson, because he is indeed him. Despite what Mike says, watch the tape. He's him. He is absolutely him. Thank you everybody for watching the pod, sharing the pod. You guys are all awesome. Go to my TikTok. I posted another video there. It's already got 800 views. Sick, right? Just talking about good things because the Nets are in a good spot. Fuck you guys for thinking differently. I don't give a fuck. All you guys are just haters plotting on my downfall because you guys stink. But the Raiders are the worst and best 0-3 team in football. Go Jets.
Okay. And yes, I'm here. Thank you everyone for watching. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow us anywhere that you get your podcast: Google Podcasts, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We are on all of it. It is graphic with all of that. And yeah, follow me on the socials. You see it on the bottom there, IAM _ MBJ. We will be back next week. One more thing before we go. I got to take the solo screen off because we rushed through, especially Roz, before you go. We didn't do our eliminator pick.
All right, I'll go first.
Well, I lost again.
Yeah, you're out. You're out again, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm out. I couldn't even get the Saints to beat.
I feel like we should just turn this from being an eliminator to just being like our overall record for mortal locks of a week.
We might. I mean,
I feel like that's a smarter route.
Mike is already. I'm already up 3. I'm 3-0.
Well, no, you do. Oh yeah. You're correct. 3-0. I'm 2-1.
I'm 1-2.
All right, so we're rolling with the whoever pick of the week, which is whoever the Patriots are playing.
I forgot who the Patriots are playing.
The Patriots
they're playing the Packers.
The Packers. So I will take my Packers pick.
Oh, the Packers
this early?
Yeah, I'm running that whoever offense, baby.
Roz, who is your lock eliminator pick of the week?
Would you like me to name some of the games?
Sure.
I got the Dolphins and Bengals. I got the Vikings and Saints, the Seahawks, Lions, Jets, Steelers. Also, if we do this record thing, all teams are back on the table.
That's fine.
Okay. Bears, Giants, Titans, Colts, Chargers, Texans, Browns, Falcons, Commie, Cowboys, Jags, Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Cardinals, Panthers, Broncos, Raiders, Pats, Packers, Chiefs, Bucks, Rams, Niners.
I'm gonna go. Was it Browns, Texans?
Browns, Falcons.
Browns, Falcons. I'm gonna go with the Browns for that one.
I'm gonna go with Detroit.
You go Detroit over Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not a bad pick.
That's not a bad pick at all.
Do I get a pick?
Go ahead, James.
You know I gotta do it. It's gonna be them. Let's ride over the Raiders.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't even know how much I switched up on the Broncos. I hate them so fucking bad.
He slipped. You heard him.
That's right.
This corny motherfucker literally has been the biggest media whore on planet Earth.
He's the worst. Did you guys see the TikTok he made where he completely switched up how he talks?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna watch that. I'm not gonna waste my time.
He's such a goddamn tool, man. Oh my god.
He's so hateable. He's so hateable.
You sound like Crowder right now. You sound like Crowder.
Can I get my 2 Jets insiders to give me some info? Is Zach Woods? Is he playing this week?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is he?
It's highly possible.
It's week 4.
Yes.
It's week 4. He's playing.
Technically, they haven't cleared him.
They haven't.
If you listen to Salah, that could mean either he's going to play or his leg's about to fall off. We don't know. We don't know.
I hate that about Salah.
We don't even know what that. I don't know what that means, so I don't even know. I just like
he's playing.
Whatever.
If they trot out fucking the corpse of Joe Flacco out there, I'm screaming.
So here's my thing. If they trot out the corpse of Joe Flacco, I'm definitely picking the Steelers. Zach plays, then that it's not so much of a lock for me. I still think the Steelers are going to win regardless, but it's a lock if Flacco plays. So if
I'd be betting all my money on the Steelers if Flacco plays. I would go and do an alternate betting line that the fucking Steelers beat us by 20 because we can't score. So I would go take the plus a minus 19.5 for the Steelers, get a crazy fucking line on that, go get that at fucking plus 750, make some money, and then just watch Joe Flacco die. It's all right.
I'm gonna take the Steelers. Get the Steelers.
That's Michael praying on my downfall because he's mad. That's Mike mad that I say the Titans give up 400 yards every week.
Yeah, can't wait till we win again. Still better. Give up all them yards. Still better than your team.
I mean, Mike, the argument has never been the Titans are better than the Jets. The argument is that you guys have a top 20 or 20th ranked defense.
Better than your team, got a better quarterback than you do, but still in all, you hate.
What world do we live in that the Colts throw for like the total offense 400 yards?
We're going to see.
What world?
You beat the Chiefs. We never know.
They did beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are better than the Titans.
We'll see.
We'll find out. I just wanted to throw that up there just so y'all can see it again. But yeah, from us to you, we will wish you a Merry Christmas. Shout out to you.
Happy Rosh Hashanah. Shalom, brethren.
Go Yankees.